a minute or two late, I believe. We just had a bit of a, not exactly an incident, but the tennis racket fly swatter just got something in it and was just spark. So I was just trying to stop it from doing that, but as I approached it, it seemed to stop. So I don't know what that was. I assume a big fly rather than a mosquito or something got wedged in and spark. So that's my excuse. That's why I'm late. That and reassuring my doggy darling. For anyone who's unfamiliar, let's have a look. Can we see the doggy darling? Not in this light. Hey Tina, you can't, can you? You're invisible to the peoples. Well, you are on my brightness. Hold on, maybe if I turn my brightness up a bit and I'll get a better representation of what everybody else sees. Hold on. Wait. Okay, you can see my hand. I'm cuddling her. She's frightened by the fly swatter. Crackle. Hello folks, people arriving. Hello. I am just a minute or two late myself, because of my fly swatter and my doggy. Hey babe, give a cuddle. People can't really see you, look. They see me, not you. It's okay. I got you. I know you don't like it. You've tuned in just to watch me cuddle my doggy darling. See, when it's crackling, it's the same spot each time, I think. So there's something. If I switch cameras, you see the tennis racket fly swatter thing. As we look at it, it's like top left-ish, that it just keeps crackling in that one area. And it's, feet for the pervs. Let's see whether I can put the light on and show you my girl. Oh, it's bright. She's there, look, she's there. Hey, babe, you're going to look to a camera for me. Say hello to the peoples. Come on. You really don't like to, do you? You really don't like to. She looks away from the light every time. Okay, we'll give her a bit of peace. Oh, turn it back to me with my hand in front of the camera, obviously. Wow, she's big. She's a dog-sized dog. She's not big, but she's a normal dog size. She's not a Chihuahua. She's not a Great Dane, but she's a middling dog size. She just looks big because the camera was right close. She's literally lying right next to me. I got my arm around her. You're my girl. I know. Oh, I've got the fan on as well, folks. If it's affecting the sound, do let me know. I'm not going to keep it on too much longer, but I did want a bit of breeze just to stir the air up a bit, cool it down that little bit before we begin. I have, as is the tradition of the channel, well, you've had one of the traditions, that's showing you my girl here, but the other tradition of the channel is that when you're going to talk for a couple of hours or more, you need to lubricate the throat. Cheers to the people who've hit the like button already. I can see a few of you haven't. I'll give you a minute and I'll say cheers again. So you got another minute to hit that button. Or somebody hit it and hit a second time to undo it. You'd already hit it. You need to hit it again to put it back on. Here we go. That's better. Live chat, not top chat, folks, as is the tradition of things. I've got to scroll back because I've missed some. I only caught. There was Terence, good evening all. There was Robert. You can see her. Okay, with love hearts in the eyes. Captain Jules, is it raining where you are? No, I can't remember the last time it rained properly. Oh, is it about a week ago or 10 days ago? I fell asleep with the door open. The rain ran down the tent and down the tent door, but the tent door was inside the tent, so the floor got very wet. I've got a fan on in the background. I'm in a tent. The fabric moves. It sometimes sounds like rain. You okay there, babe? You're going the other way. Am I going to get the arse end for cuddling? You're putting your head down by my feet. Okay. Let me come back to that was Captain Jules. Is that Jules as in Julian, a male, or is it Jules as in Julie, a female? Sign of nature. Oh, I've forgotten it again, haven't I? Sign of nature. Gonna need a clue, mate. Gonna need a clue. Need to get a cup, a teacup shaped as a beer can. Oh, okay. Or a beer can shaped as a teacup. Julian male. Okay, mate. Cheers. Thanks for the clarification. Keef. Sign of nature is Keef. Oh, 10 of you here already. Rob B's in the house. Rob's been bombarding me with info. Hiroshima, wasn't it? And Hershey? Wasn't Hershey the chocolate bar, but something similar. I was just reading up on it. I've got a feeling I've seen a different documentary based on the same book. The book was written just after the war, or after the atom bomb, or bombs. The UK is about to ban VPNs. How the fuck are they going to do that? You can set up distributed ones. You could set up one on your computer and someone in another country sets one up and yours tunnels to theirs. No one will ever know, and you come out. It's like the onion ring, Tor, the onion. I mean, that's used for dark web and stuff, but it's a similar procedure. It's tunneling through SSH and similar, HTTPS and SSH. You tunnel through, you tunnel out, you connect with a volunteer on the other side. You cannot legislate against technology unless you're like China and you close off the connections to the outside world at the not just at the ISP level, but at the trunk network, at the tier one. Which way does the tier numbers go? Do they start at one for the? Oh fuck! It's been a long time, folks. Used to be my thing, but no, won't work. You cannot ban them. People can just use them. Companies that have got them built into web browsers will probably have to disable them, but there's nothing to stop you just downloading, torrenting some software. You set up an exit point at your end, so a volunteer in another country sets up an exit point their end, and away you go. It's what food shops are there where you are? I remember one called Gigantic. No, it's Mercadona, Aldi, Lidl. There's a Carrefour some distance away. Dial Pre or Deal Pre, depending on how you want to pronounce the I. Spanish tends to be more of an E sound, so Deal Pre. Did I say Consume already? Not sure if I said Consume. Those are your supermarkets. I haven't got many within a distance I can get to with a disabled dog, and I can't leave her on her own, so it's what are the prices like? Fairly standard, probably a little bit cheaper than the UK for groceries in general. Fruit and veg seems to be more expensive than you would think. The Spanish grow a lot here, but divert a lot of it for export, so things tend to be a little more expensive than you would expect, given how much of it actually comes from here. But no, it's fair. I mean, I've been here 9 years, so it's difficult to compare, especially after we've had certain price shocks after COVID, and the Ukraine war put a lot of things up. The Ukraine-Russia war sent a lot of things going more expensive. I'll be honest, I haven't been in a supermarket this year. So yeah, it's difficult. Difficult for me to judge, my friend. Difficult for me to judge. Oh, we were on 11, now we're down to 10 people here. I'm scaring them away with the alcohol again. Winos, wino tramps in the tent. If you were here earlier, you will know that I was running out of beer at the end of the proper TrampCast. So I have been to the shop. I did take a fiver that in shrapnel that my friend Anthony left me a while back, or some of what he left me. When he's finished over here, usually he'll have a little bag of loose change. From what I can tell, their family, when they go out, they just take notes. And whatever change we've got at the end of the night seems to go in this little baggie, and they give me a proportion of it, I guess, at the end of the Tobias Lundqvist. I don't know how to pronounce that, my friend, but yeah, Sweden. How far northern Sweden? Are you right up kind of Arctic Circle, up with the Suomi and all those? Up with the reindeer? I'm trying to remember the name of the place my friend Christian's from, and I can't. It's a place where they do, it's one of the places they do the biathlon, the shooting and skiing, the shooting and cross-country skiing events, and it's got an island. I don't think it's on the island, but it's next, there's an island next to it. And if I hear it, I'll know it, but it's not coming to mind right now. Spitsbergen, no, that's not. Almost, don't know that one, my friend, but, or is that just, is that almost? Almost, okay, I got you. That's not quite the right spelling, but I'm not going to, someone who's communicating with me in a second language, I'm not going to be a pedant. Spitsbergen, no. My friend is from, oh, I can't remember. But it's one of the places each year when they do the what are there, 10 or 12 of these events for the biathlon, and it's one of the ones on the route every year. It's either on an island or you look over the water and there is an island, and I can't remember it for the life of me. Okay, folks, the number seems to have settled. It looks like 10 is the number for people here, and a lot of people have hit the thumbs up already. I appreciate that, folks. I appreciate that a lot, especially as I was late because of the fly zapper. Glad it's calmed down. Tina's glad it's calmed down, and so she's calmed down. I will probably just turn this fan off now because the EcoFlow, where are we? 77. That's a little bit on the low side for a night where I'm doing a TrampCast Hangout, especially this early in the night. I'll probably turn it on a couple more times throughout the night, but because because my phone wasn't charged when we did the TrampCast proper earlier, I had to disconnect the EcoFlow from the solar panel to put over on the table with me to keep the phone and tablet charged while we did what we did. We did 3 hours and we got 2 days into the week. I'll have to watch that back and see what lessons I can learn. I think I was just chatting too much with you guys in chat that were there earlier. I should have been getting on with detailing the week in question, the week that I was telling you about. I spent the first hour and a half just chatting, just talking shit with you guys in chat. What can you do, folks? There's chat that I'm missing, I think. Oh no, it's just when I'm behind with chat, there's an arrow that will jump me to the bottom. When it's not in use, it should disappear off the bottom of the screen, but there's just a white dot. Makes it look like a stuck pixel. It's a little bit annoying. And then chat fades out after 4 seconds, and I have no idea what's happening. just in case it got stuck, I'm going to pick top chat, whoa, and then live chat. I'm going to come back in. No, there's nothing that I've missed. Sometimes it kind of freezes and I need to come out of it and go back into it, and there'll be a dozen new messages that I didn't know about. Another couple of clicks on the... it's funny, I'm not aware of having seen or heard a fly all evening inside the tent here. I mean, I didn't get in here until 8:30, probably almost 9, but in the time I've had, I haven't experienced a single fly, but the zap has been going off like crazy. Like I said, I think something got stuck in it. I don't think it was lots of flies. I think it was one fly or one moth or something flew into it and crackle, 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 crackle. Fun. I enjoy it because every one that gets zapped is one that's not going to bite me in the night. I've had minimal mosquito bites since getting that, whereas prior to that I was waking up with a forehead like Worf on Star Trek. And if you've ever been bitten repeatedly like over the course of a week by mosquitoes, if you get bitten one day and you've got 2 or 3 of them and then they fade away and they go, if you get another bite in a similar area, the previous ones can flare up again. And by the end of the week, honestly, I was like a fucking Klingon. I saw a chat message arrive there, but I missed it. What are my plans for the week? Just to survive, my friend. My plans are just to get through the week. The heat is terrible at the minute, and it's going to get worse. We're going back up to 34 to 36 and 37 this next week, degrees Celsius. Let me give you that in for the Americans. I'll give you 36 in Fahrenheit. 36 becomes 72, knock off 7 becomes 65, add 32, 97. Did I get that right? That sounds about right. 1 or 2 Celsius below, tipping over 100 Fahrenheit. You double it, knock off 10% and add 32. So 36 doubled is 72, knock off 7 is 65, add 32 is 97. Yeah, confirmed. So it's hot and I can't sit out in the sun all day every day, so I tend to sit inside, stay low, open the doors, create a through draft, spray myself with water maybe, take the t-shirt off probably, and just do all the things that you do to try and cool. No, I don't have a water source. I'm reliant upon friends, acquaintances, and to an extent, strangers taking pity on me. Well, that's... oh God, let me correct myself. There is a water source 500 meters that way. Gives you bad guts, but I have got some water purification tablets. We can take care of that. But I can't leave my dog. My dog can't walk. My dog can't... well, she can't walk. I have to carry her back end. I put a belt under her waist and pick her up and carry. She walks with the front and I pick her off the ground with the back. We're looking to buy her some wheels. But we're in the middle of a course of treatment from a vet. Doesn't look like it's working, but we've got to play the game and let that course work through. But it's been 2 weeks and there's no sign of improvement. She can't walk, I can't leave her. So going and fetching water like I used to do is out of the question. I used to put 2 8 litre bottles in a carrier bag, a shopping bag, and put it on my shoulder and carry it back, and then go back for a second batch. Then some friends bought me a trolley so I could fetch 4 bottles at once, 4 8 litre bottles at once. I would still end up doing 2 trips so that I had enough water to wash clothes and things. Now I can't get away, I can't get out of this field hardly. We just went about 3 months where I couldn't even get as far as the cliffs on the seashore, and that's only 150 meters away. I got there for the first time in months, last week or the week before, whenever that was. But only because I think because a friend had been bringing me some breakfasts, some cooked breakfasts and breakfast sandwiches, I suddenly had a bit more power, a bit more about me, a bit of extra protein, and um, I'll be honest, I haven't been cooking meals, I haven't been cooking food much, I guess I haven't been looking after myself properly, but Ryan in Valencia, hello, hello. You put your name back. It let you. You didn't have to wait 2 weeks. It let you change your name and then change it back. Or did you use a second account? That's a possibility. Maybe you did the second account thing. So no, there's no direct water source anywhere near me. The water source that is there is only there until the end of August, and then it will be turned off. The first year I was in this field, it seems they forgot to turn it off. So I did have regular water, and my dog could walk back then. So we did have plentiful supply of water, but we did need the water purification tablets. Supposedly 1 per litre. But I would drop 4, sometimes 5 into an 8-litre bottle, and that was always fine. That was always fine. But if we didn't, I'd get the shits, and so would the dog. And when dogs get the shits, that's quite messy. We made that mistake to begin with. Have you got a water bucket? No, but I've got water. When people bring me water, they're bringing it to me in 8-litre bottles, 8-litre, 6-litre, 5-litre, and I keep a supply of the empty bottles around. So if somebody wants to help but doesn't want to buy water in the supermarket, because it's, for what it is, it's expensive. I mean, you're looking at €1 for an 8-litre bottle, just under 80, 90. 95 cents for 8 litres. I ask all my friends to just fill the empty bottles from the tap, but some of them have long drives and don't want to be carrying water all the way from their house to the car. First world problem. So some of them prefer to just buy me half a dozen or a dozen bottles of water in the supermarket. Yeah. So I just store water. I just keep water outside. I have a tarpaulin over the top of my tent, and it comes down the side, and I pull it out, and the water bottles are in the shade most of the day. First thing in the morning when the sun first comes up, it's got kind of a direct line to them, but the sun's not very strong at that point, and it's not for very long. They cool down overnight. They're fine. Get this. So I put out a call a couple of weeks ago that I was getting really low. I was down to my last 20 or 15 litres maybe. I can't remember the exact. You'd have to look at the video where I asked people. But I put out a shout saying, guys, this is getting a little bit desperate, and my only option, I had a little bit of cash, but my only option would be to go to the Chino Bazaar, the Chinese shop, and be buying individual drinking bottles, 1 litre, 1.5 litres, and he'd be wanting €1.50 or more per litre or per litre and a half. That, I mean, in an emergency, like to stay alive, you buy it, but it's less than ideal. You're paying more per litre than you get than 8 litres in the supermarket. That wouldn't be a good. That's not a good deal, really. Life-saving, so I'd have to do it. But there are a couple of people here. There's a guy. There's some houses. There's a little track here. Single track lane, very rocky, not a proper surface, not a proper road. But there's a guy who lives down here who's helped me once or twice in the past. I could give him half a dozen empty bottles, and if I flag him down one day, I'm sure he wouldn't say no. In fact, technically, it's illegal to say no to giving someone water in Spain, because it's so hot you could die if someone says no. So technically, it's illegal to say no to giving someone some water. Now, whether that means they'd have to fill up 6-8 litre bottles for you and and drive down the road to bring them back, probably not. That's probably not a legal requirement. But yeah, no, I was in a pickle. So I put out this shout saying I needed water, and some people that I'd never met before brought me some. A guy called George brought me 10 5-litre bottles. My friend Karen was over in the country for just a quick hop, just a few days. She brought some the first day they were here, 6 or 8 bottles, and on their last day they brought me, basically I think on the way to the airport, they brought me another 7 or 8 bottles of water. So I sorted them, and then this other bloke, a friend of George, the guy who'd brought me water early on, a friend of his, a bloke called Lee, came along and he brought another 6 or 8 bottles. So suddenly, I'm out here now. I think I've got 17 or 18. I did an audit a couple of days ago. I counted them. There were 19 bottles. I might have used 2 since then. Well, certainly I've just brought 1 into the tent. Maybe not used, but I've also got. I got this Russian guy keeps coming to my camp, wanting to make coffee. And the first couple of times he did it, he had water in his cafetiere kettle thing. Now I think he's just using mine, as well as using my fucking gas. If you were here on Friday night's TrampCast Hangout, cunt turned up at nearly midnight, wanting to use my gas and me to come out and give him a lighter, and fucking no. Not after dark, not at fucking midnight or 11:30 onwards, just fucking no. He came back today. He skipped, so that was Friday night. Saturday he didn't come at all. He came back today, brought hot dog sausages for Tina, and he'd bought himself a lighter so he didn't need to keep borrowing mine, which in one way is a good thing, but in another it means he can just walk into the camp and use it without me even knowing, maybe, if he's quiet about it. Don't know. Basically, he's used more of my gas this week than I have, because I'm not cooking or whatever for myself, and I went a few days without even making coffee. I don't like that. It's like the 14-kilogram gas bottle, but I'm a bit soft. I don't say no to people enough. Let me scroll. I'm behind again. Different email, different account. Okay. What about digging the hole and using the condensate? Everybody goes with digging a hole. I'm getting sick. I'm going to make a separate frequently asked questions. I've got TrampCast 001 for me, my backstory, the story of how I ended up a tramp, etc. My employment history, education history, all about that. Because people are always telling me I'm far too educated to be a tramp, but that's not the point. So that whole story's there. But can't you dig a hole? Can't you? I'm on a cliff top. Cliff tops tend to be made out of solid fucking rock. There is no digging. These trees are falling over because their roots don't go down, they go across. Because rock, and then eventually a strong wind blows them over. There is no digging a hole. You can't get a tent peg in the ground 70% of the time you try. It takes 3-4 attempts to get a tent peg in the ground. If you do, it probably comes out bent afterwards. It's solid rock. Well, it's fractured rock. Some of it is big stones and little stones, but it's rock. There's no digging a hole. I did have a pickaxe type thing, but I threw that away when I moved out of the old tent and into this, because I'd had it 2 years and not used it, not done anything with it. I either didn't have a use for it, or I'm on impossible ground anyway. In winter, you can just about push. I had 6 brute. If you see my first ever video, which I'm going to do a reaction to in a week or two, because I'm coming up on 3 years homeless. I'm going to do a reaction to my first ever. Difficult to film a reaction just with a phone. Normally you need a proper computer and an OBS or something like that. So you can play a video, record that window, capture the camera. It's all synchronized and kind of done for you. I'm going to have to play the video, stop it, record audio or video of me. Then I'm going to have to edit that in and overlay it and get the timing right and extend the freeze frame of the original video to match. It's all going to be a bit of a nightmare, but yeah, I'm going to do a reaction to my first video. But if you see that video, you will see I was in basically a shack, basically a homemade tent, 6 broom handles pushed into the ground. But I had to hammer them in, and I could only do it in wet ground during winter, and each pole would take 3 or 4 attempts to find a spot where you could get it into the ground 4 inches or 6 inches, whatever. Not easy, not easy. So dig a hole is a common question from people. Ismo, hello, my Finnish friend. I just come back home after work day. It'll still be light there, yeah? You're in the Arctic Circle or there or thereabouts. You're probably not going dark yet. Hold on, I need to go back. I need to go back a bit. Okay, I think I'm caught up. There was Ryan. Have you got water? Okay. Hole using condensation technique to collect water. Yeah, no, condensate, no. Bushcraft style. I've seen bushcraft type videos of that, but you wouldn't get enough. There's me and a dog. We've been going through like 6 litres a day plus beer on the days when I've got beer, and there's nothing coming out the other end hardly. It all comes out. It comes out as sweat and salt. Beer is almost isotonic, by the way. At least a low alcohol beer is isotonic, replaces what you lose. Once you've got actual alcohol in, it's not quite, because of the diuretic thing, and also the alcohol slows down the absorption. It's all there, it all does get absorbed, it just slows it down. But it's almost isotonic. It is a health drink. I've mentioned this in the past. There are people in places in the world, even Britain, that lived for centuries on, well, no individual person lived centuries, but communities survived for centuries on beer because the water was untrusted. The water would kill you. And they didn't understand about bacteria, viruses, and other, what the single-celled organisms called. Not diatoms? Any amoebas and all that kind of stuff, that the people didn't understand about any of that. So for a long time, the people who drank heavily survived, and the rest died. So people learnt that lesson, and whole communities used to drink beer for breakfast, folks. I don't quite recommend that, although me and Ismo have done that in the past, breakfast beer, and our friend Christian, friend, ex-friend, I'm not sure quite what to call him, but Ismo, do you remember the town that Christian's from? I was trying, because the biathlon's done there, I mentioned it earlier before you got here. Do you remember? It's got a, no, that's you, you're Uvascular. I can't remember the name of Christian's hometown. Cheers, folks. Cheers to everybody who hit the like button already. I appreciate that. The record, I said this earlier, I thought we'd hit the record the other day. Friday night, we hit 38 likes. And then somebody unliked right just as I was ending. So we finished on 37, equaling the record. I don't know whether to count the fact that I saw it on 38 as the record, or is it the closing figure that counts? I don't know quite how to take that. But hey, it would be nice to challenge the record again, maybe. See whether we can't surpass 37 and actually get to 38 officially. Ryan in Valencia says, I might take a trip down to Torrevieja next Saturday. Do you need anything? We've got more than enough wet food for Tina. We've got a sack and a half of dry food. I've got even more in treats. Tina doesn't need anything. Well, other than a set of wheels, Tina doesn't need anything. Do I need anything? Oh, there was something earlier, but I can't remember what it was. I had a thought earlier that I was running out of something or I didn't have something. No idea. It's gone. I'm like that. The brain doesn't connect anymore. But yeah, you're more than welcome to come and visit, mate. More than welcome. How long a drive would that be then? That's got to be what, a good 3 or 4 hour drive? Maybe more. I'm not sure of my distances in Spain. It's a distance though. What do you do your videos on? Phone or can't miss just the phone? I only had the phone. Well, that's not true. I'm not lying, but I misspoke. I had an old tablet, a Amazon Kindle Fire, but a very early version, and it was very, very laggy. All I could do with that was click a button to set YouTube videos playing, click the button, wait 10 seconds for it to start playing, and then don't touch. It didn't even have the proper YouTube app wouldn't update on that version of the tablet anymore. All I could do, I loaded it one day in a browser. Is it called the Silk? I think it's called the Silk browser on the Kindle Fires. I loaded it in the Silk browser, and one of the options is to save that page as a link on your desktop. So when you click it, it opens a single window browser. No tabs, none of the other functionality. You just get the website. So you get the YouTube functionality, but it's the responsive web design. It just fills the area you've got. So you're not getting a full desktop site. You're getting a modified version for the screen size, for the resolution, and that was all it could do. But it's so laggy. Now a couple of weeks ago, she gets a lot of mentions on here. My friend Karen gave me a new tablet, new to me. Actually, no, new. It was a brand new tablet that she bought for a family member who then, I don't think it worked out. I don't think it was suitable. So she gave it to me. I think it'd been lying around in a drawer for a few months, but brand new in the sense of unused. They tried setting it up for this family member, and I had to do a factory reset and blank it off. But yeah, no, guys, it's a Samsung Tab A9, 9-inch tablet or thereabouts. That's probably on the diagonal. 9-inch tablet. It's the A, not the S is the top end one, the S9s. But I'm not. Is it a Samsung Galaxy Tab? Samsung Galaxy Tab A9. Fantastic. Revolutionised things for me. Like I've said before, doing the TrampCast, I had my notes on my phone, but you can't leave that screen. Once you're doing a YouTube video, you can't leave that screen. So I had to transpose, I had to write out my notes every week. It took me between 2 and 4 hours, depending on how many notes and how much crap I was going to chat. And I had to write it really small on a single A4 kind of page. Now I just copy the file from there to the tablet. I might even start just doing the notes on the tablet. I'm using currently the Samsung Notes app, which is like a word processor. Each page, they can be formatted, colours and size and bold and check boxes and bullet points. Stuff that I was stuff that I was having to write out every week is now just there. Revolutionary for me. But the actual video production, the recording is done as a set of clips, multiple clips to camera, and reversing the camera and looking out. And then I use a piece of software called Ucut, Y-O-U-C-U-T, Ucut, which is brilliant. I tried some other software which was okay, but insisted on putting a bloody watermark on the videos unless you paid. Ucut has some premium features, but doesn't nag overly. When you open it, it says, do you want to go premium? And there's a link in the interface to go premium. Some of the features are listed and shown. And there's a little symbol to show they're premium. So if you use them, you have to go and pay. I never needed to. I've never used them. All of my videos are just produced that way. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit difficult to do a reaction video, trying to react to some of my own earlier videos. But I want to do that for my 3rd anniversary, which is on the 14th of August. 3rd anniversary of becoming homeless. I want to do a new intro titles thing. I had an intro titles video previously, but it was on an old phone that stopped working. The power port, there was a crunch and a snap, and it stopped taking power. So there's things I want to do, but I've done it all on here. Now I've got a second usable this probably could do it. Whether I can install, you can get OBS, Open Broadcasting System, I think it's called, or StreamYards or Streamlabs. They all do a similar job where you can have multiple inputs, switch between cameras, share your screen with the, so you can show your screen and have a video of you at the same time. I might be able to do something because I've got 2 devices now. I haven't quite delved into it yet. There was for a while the possibility that I was going to get a laptop. A lady suggested she had an old one she thought lying around in a drawer somewhere. I think the last I heard she can't locate it. It might have been thrown away, given away, I don't know. But there was a chance of me having a laptop, which would have definitely meant I could have used OBS, and I could have done so much slicker video production and editing and so much better quality videos with a laptop. I did see I don't know if anybody saw this in Britain. I saw a report of Chromebooks being sold for £90 this last week. They were older versions, 2 or 3 years old, I think. Now, Chromebooks are a kind of a lower powered, and it's not. They run on Chrome OS, which is basically Android, a souped up Android. So I don't know whether that would have been any good or not, but 90 quid for a laptop would have been worth considering. Anyway, yeah, all the production's done here. What else do I use? I use a piece of software called Collage Maker to do the thumbnails. Collage Maker, Ucut for the actual editing, and then it's just the YouTube app and YouTube Studio for certain editing of metadata after the event, and editing the descriptions and things, and a text editor. I have some boilerplate text that I copy across for each video. I use a text editor. That's about it, I think. I don't know what else I use. Let me have a quick look here, because they'll be on here. if I've missed anything obvious. But it is all just done from the phone. And Android phones, and my first phone was a cheap phone. Ucut YouTube Studio, Simple, I think it's called Simple Text, Collage Maker. Oh, I've got the YouTube Creator app here as well, but never use it. I've got vidIQ, which used to be useful for tracking your progress, subscribers, likes, dislikes, but then they made 3/4 of the app be premium and you had to pay. That lost its value. Oh, and I use another one called Video to, what is it called? I don't know what it's actually called. Video to Photo. So I can take screen grabs from within. When I've taken lots of clips and I've put them all together in Ucut to make one long video, sometimes I want to grab a frame or two from within the video, either to make a collage, or there was one video, I don't know if you've seen this. The police had just been, and I'd kind of fucked them off. The Guardia Civil, actually. They drove to the bottom of the road. I started recording with my back to the road, and as they came past, they passed behind my head, kind of thing, and on the road, and so I'm just talking to camera at this time, but I managed to take I thought a pretty good still, a frame from within that video, and put a caption up, you know, hello, 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 you know, cops on site again, kind of thing. So video to photo is good for taking those stills. Although that's become quite pushy recently. Once you've taken about half a dozen stills from a video, it won't take any more that day. You gotta wait. So if that happens and I want to capture more, I'll play the video back through VLC, which is a video player, but it has a button that you can snap a frame, snap a screenshot. So that's the software I use. I do it all on the phone. I'm going to investigate whether I can start doing it. Like you've just seen, I've got the apps installed on the tablet. I currently haven't made any videos or edited any videos with the tablet, but I have been copying assets across, copying certain things across in readiness for that. Partly just as a backup. If I drop this phone and break the screen or something, I can move the SIM card. This will take a SIM card and become a phone, basically, a big unwieldy phone, but it'll do all the internet stuff itself. So if I break this phone but still have it in my possession and can extract the SIM card, then I'll be away. It's a backup for that. So yeah, good question, thank you. No camcorder, no. Home time Uvasca is dark about 10:30. Ostersund, yeah, okay. That's correct. That's why I was thinking you, but Ostersund. That's where my I guess I'll call him friend, Christian. He did come round with a 12-pack of cold beer last week one day. So I guess we're friends again, even though it was a bit... Your video quality is very good. The picture quality will be, now that I'm using a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip. Is that right? Galaxy Z Flip 7. 6, maybe. Can't remember. It's broken. It's very temperamental. So it's supposed to fold in half. But as soon as you do, as soon as it moves the slightest millimetre, it goes off. Flip fork, says Karen. Thank you, Karen. Okay, Karen, you just arrived. She has. Hello, everyone. Okay. I'm at the bottom. It's jumped to the bottom, hasn't it? Okay, Ryan asks, do you have a mini power bank to charge phone or tablet when battery is low? There can be lifesavers if EcoFlow is low. I have one power bank. It won't charge from USB anymore. Fortunately, it also has a solar panel on it. Takes 3 or 4 days to get a decent amount of charge into it. But yeah, if I accidentally let the EcoFlow run low, which has happened once or twice, It's not so much that the EcoFlow's run out of power. I have it set to not let any power out once it hits 30%, once it gets down to 30. And my idea is, that means I can fall asleep and leave the fan going, for example, and there'll still be some power in the EcoFlow. And then I'll take my phone and I'll change that setting and I'll set it to have a base of say 20, and then 10% is usable. What's happened the couple of times it's gone wrong, it hits its base of 30 and won't let any more power out, and my phone will have run out of power in the night while I'm watching YouTube videos. And so I can't use the phone to change that base setting. The phone hasn't got any power. The EcoFlow isn't putting out any power. Now I can. I'm misleading you slightly. The AC, the 12-volt socket, and the USB-C socket power off. USB-A stays live. So if I can plug my phone onto a USB A to C cable, the phone will trickle charge and take forever to get, let's say, to 5%. Then I can turn the phone on. Then I can change that setting and lower from 30% to 20 or 10 and make some power available properly from the EcoFlow. That's happened a couple of times, but also having the power bank has helped once or twice. Currently, it's swelling. It's one of those pocket, what do you call them, a pocket cell? So it's not like a battery cell, it's like a silver foil bag, and inside is swelling and pushing the bits apart. It's getting a little bit hazardous. Eek. I'm in a field that's basically a tinder box. I'm in a tent, which is a fabric bloody powder keg waiting to go up, and I've got a swollen lithium ion power cell swelling and getting ready to burst into flames. Somewhere around here I've got a tin box, biscuit tin. I'll have to be ready for when that moment happens, and hope that I haven't left the power bank anywhere too volatile, anywhere that will go up in smoke too easily or up in flames. So my EcoFlow River 2 is my powerhouse. I mean, that's the what would you call it? That's the center point of my electronics life now. Prior to that, I had two 10-watt panels and a charge controller and a couple of little batteries. Prior to that, it's just a foldable. I've still got all these. I've still got a 4-panel foldable one, which tiny, just for charging. It would output 2 USB ports, but not at full power. It claimed to be like a 30 or 40 watt whatever, but 2 USB ports that each will put out 5 volts at 1.1 watts, or 2.1 if you're only using one. So basically you're never getting more than 10 watts out, even though they claim to be 40 watts of panel. What are you going to do with that? Obviously some Chinesium lying on the numbers somewhere. Don't know. Where are we, folks? I'm rabbiting on and I don't know about what. Here's my friend Karen, yeah. Flip 4. So it's maybe a little bit older than I thought. I think 6 or 7 is the one that's just come out. There's the flip and the fold, isn't there? The fold is like a full phone that folds sideways. This is more Captain Kirk clamshell kind of fold. But it don't fold. And if it does, when I went to the court to pick up some papers, it folded the millimetre in my pocket, turned itself off, and when it does that, off, not just screen off, off. And when it does that, it's 50-50 whether it will reboot when you press and hold the button. And if it doesn't, you have to come home and plug it into some power and get it working. And on this day, my friend Karen had taken my EcoFlow to hers to charge it up for me. So I couldn't come home and charge from the EcoFlow. So on this occasion, the little power bank that I've got did its thing, got my phone up and running, so I could make the call, let Karen and family know, because they had my EcoFlow and they had my dog. Let them know where I was and that all was well. Because I was supposed to call them when I got out of the courthouse and have them come and meet me in town, but I had to walk home first because reasons. Because the phone folded just ever so slightly in my pocket. You're a very intelligent person, I can tell from listening to you. Don't be fooled. I'm not that intelligent. I'm nothing special. Oh, I got an itchy buttock. Let's have a look. I got to the shop before it closed. I did. Yeah, we finished at 8, didn't we? I think I sat outside until about 8:30, my time. And the shop closes at 9:30. There was no rush. Shh, don't tell Tina, she doesn't know I went. I left her in her little hole under the bush. And I told her I was going in the tent to do something. And I came in the tent and I talked to her from in the tent. And I snuck out and up through the field. And I took some rubbish to the bin and snuck into the Chino Bazaar and picked up a 12-pack of beer. I could have bought cold beer, but he charges, I think, about a third extra. For the same money, you get 9 instead of getting 12. Does that mean he's charged a quarter extra or a third? I'm not sure which way to go with my division there. I'd have to sit down and think it through. But yeah, he charges extra for the cold ones out of the fridge. So I didn't do that. Maybe as a treat one time, instead of buying a 12-pack, I should buy 9 and then get 3 cold ones, so that I've got cold beer on hand. I don't know. But yeah, I caught the shop before they closed anyway. That's the important fact. Cheers. To everybody that's hit the like button. If you've hit the like button, I'm going to say cheers to you in a minute. You got a minute. If you haven't done it already and you want me to say cheers to you, then hit that like button and I will oblige in a moment or so. I just what was the noted in response to Ryan? Was that the digging a hole, or was it I don't know where we are. I just see a noted. Apparently flip phone 4 and below all have the same problem. Usually they've sorted these things out by the 3rd version. 3 is usually a charm. So you're saying it was version 5 before they got the problem licked. That's terrible. There should be refunds all around. Captain Jules is saying good night. Really enjoyed this live chat. Well, you're welcome back anytime, my friend. Watch a couple of videos and think about subscribing if you haven't already. Just think about it, you know. Make sure you've seen a few videos. I do some slightly more controversial things sometimes. Not everybody agrees with me all the time. Tabletop fridges start at 99. You see, that's another thing on the shopping list, isn't it? Because my cool box isn't working properly. Yeah. We also have to check, Karen, how many watts they use on startup. That's the big iffy part. It's that initial burst in the first 3 seconds when the compressor kicks in. Oh, it was the guy from Eve that told you about your tablet. Captain Julian, I think it was, yeah. We'll stay subscribed. Thank you. Catch you next time around. Okay, I don't think anybody else hit the like button. I didn't see the number change. But anyway, here's to the lot of you. Everybody who's here. Oh, we're coming up on an hour. Oh, look at this. Hold on. There. 1 hour of streaming. Because I was a minute or two late starting because the zapper went wild. I started at I was aiming to start at 10:30. 23:33. 23, guys. 23. That's 11 for those of you that don't do military time. Subtracting 12 is so difficult. 23 minus 12, that's 11. 11 p.m. because we were over 12, so p.m. I'm joking for any of the Yanks that might be out there. Cheers, folks. Cheers. I will take one more. Now I did. Somehow I ended up pushed for time. I said earlier that I was going to have some coffees here waiting when we did this nighttime live stream, when we did the hangout. It turns out I misspoke again. It wasn't a deliberate lie, but I don't know. Having finished at 8 and sat outside and kind of uncompressed for a while and then gone shopping and kind of, by the time I get here and bring everything in and move everything around, it would have been way after 9. Get the dog in, the dog food, the dog water, move the EcoFlow over here, blah, 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 blah. 9:30. Then I've got to create the stream and battle with YouTube software. So setting it to start at 10:30, I didn't feel like I got a break in between. I had the half an hour sat out in the cool. I had to put the Brawley, the Sombrilla parasol, had to put that down because the breeze was just picking up too much, and there was a risk to the tent if it took off towards the tent. But I don't know. I don't feel I had time to make a coffee in the end. Oh, Russian guy came by as well. Didn't stay. He didn't want anything this time except to know what time it was. What happened with the zapper? So just as I was about to push the button and go live, something got stuck in it. Now normally it goes crackle, crackle 2 or 3 times. Something will kind of explode out and maybe one of the bits will fall down and end up back in the zapper further down. So you get a mini fireworks display of 3 or 4, maybe 5 snap, crackle, pops. No, this something went in it and it went crack, crack, crack. Like once every half second, like twice a second, kind of every half second, but for about 30 seconds. I was getting quite worried, and Tina was behind herself. That's not right. Tina was beside herself with fear. I got her up here on the bed and cuddled her, and I think even as I went live, we were still getting the odd. I think we had an odd crackle or two just after I went live. Yeah, it must have been. I wonder whether it was like a moth or something had hit it. Something went in and wedged in, and I don't know. But it spooked my lady. It spooked my Tina girl. Am I up to date? I think I'm up to date. I'm just going to test top chat and then live chat. Everybody, you want to be on live chat, not top chat. And if you're here watching live on Sunday night, little red dot in the bottom left corner of your YouTube player should say live and a red dot. If you're behind, you might, if you've joined late, sometimes the YouTube app will start you at the start of the video, but you might be like half an hour behind us, and you might make a comment and I've got no context. I won't know what we're talking about. So live if you're here, whether you're watching live or you're watching this on a on demand at some later date, you want to have chat open, and you want to have chat or live chat replay, as it's called, when they do it after the event. If you're watching this on demand and not a day other than Sunday, touch the screen and you're looking for two speech bubbles, one behind the other. It's called live chat replay, and you want to have that open, but there's a cog at the top of the player, and you want to set to all messages. Top chat, as it's called, the alternative filters, and you will miss some messages. You'll wonder what's going on when I'm answering someone and you haven't even seen their question. Okay, looks like I'm up to date for once. That's always trouble, because now I have to wonder what we're going to talk about. It's always nice when we've got someone new and they've got a stream of questions, even if they're questions that I've answered before. Sometimes I think I need to make a frequently asked questions video, though. I may well do that. So that if people are asking about me, my background, the history, why I'm a tramp, how I'm a tramp, blah, why I don't go back to England, those questions, those are covered in TrampCast 001. But the whole dig a hole, how often, does anybody remember Jasper? Jasper was a dig a hole. Can't you dig a hole? Can't you do this? Can't you do that? What about the caves on the? Is there not a cave you can go live in? Caves better than a tent. Some of these standard questions, I could. Do I do one video and answer top 10 questions, or do I do 10 separate videos? Got to think these things through, folks. You got to think these things through. When you're on the grift, when you're a YouTuber just trying to make as many videos and get as many views as possible, do you make one video answering 10 questions or 10 videos answering each? If you structure it right, you can do both. You can make one video that answers all 10, but you can draw out clips to release as shorts, because now shorts can be up to 3 minutes. Used to be you had 60 seconds. Now you can do up to 3 minutes as a short. You might even, there was talk a while ago of making shorts in landscape rather than portrait, because nobody really likes portrait. When you sit down to watch TV, you don't turn your TV fucking that way up. When you go at the pictures, it's not portrait, it's landscape. When you look at the world, your eyes show the world in landscape. Your eyes don't show you fucking portrait. There's no portrait mode in here. You're going to have some stories to tell when you get back to the UK. You will have these videos as evidence for the doubters. Yeah, I view them as contemporaneous notes. Yeah. Yeah. I was actually, before two ladies, and I got their name, I got one of their names wrong the other day. And I don't know why, because I know both their names. I know them really well. But sometimes when you're flowing, you just say the wrong word. I said that the two ladies were called Anita and Karen. No, Anita and Tina. So apologies to my friend Tina, who's probably not watching. Same name as my doggy Darling. But these two ladies bought me a phone. Prior to that, I'd promised one of them that I will write a book one day. And one day I found it was a receipt book dropped in the street kind of thing, with some pages, and the backs of the pages were empty. So I was making notes, and it's here somewhere. It's in here. I can't remember where, but I've seen it sometime recently. There was also, later on, there was like some kids' schoolwork that the kids outgrown it and the parents have thrown it out. But the back of every page, they only ever wrote on the front of the page. So flip the book over, start at the back, and every page is blank. So I was keeping notes. There are notes here somewhere from the before times, from before I got a phone and started being able to do videos. Plus I've got memories. Some things I found in, on or around bins that I can remember which bin. sometimes I gotta remember what day. Lots of stories like that. I can talk forever about bin pizza and floor pizza. They're the best pizza. Um, I can talk about the day that like almost midnight up by the park. A guy was walking down the road and I saw him swing this white plastic shopping bag into a bin that he was passing, and it looked like there was something heavy in there. He'd been to a restaurant, to an Indian or something. There was like a it was like a stew but curry flavored, and he'd obviously not liked it or was full or whatever, and he just threw. And when I went in, foil carton with the cardboard top, almost full, hot still. Yeah, I'll have that. Bin food. It's been in the bin about a minute. It's in a sealed takeaway container inside a shopping bag on the top of the. It's in the bin. When I say it's on top, I don't mean it's outside the bin, but it's on top of everything that's in the bin. And there was nothing nasty on the top anyway. Bin food. I have stories to tell indeed. There also, talking about doubters, we had the guy a couple of weeks ago that insisted I'm not here in this field. It's all AI. He's been to this field and there's nobody here. What a fucking clown. I don't know whether he's just trolling or whether he really believes it. But I did get annoyed and I did ban him because, well, not ban, ban's not the right, I sent him to the shadow realm. He'll see his comments still and nobody else will. Whoa, it's jumping backwards today. Well, earlier it was jumping to the bottom when I didn't want it to do. You're going to have some stories. Yeah, that's the one I was just answering. Okay. Great idea, I'd buy the book. Thank you. I don't know how much demand there would be for kind of the life and times of a tramp. Or diary, you could almost go Diary of a Nobody if the name had not been used already. Diary of a Nobody is a comedic book. A lot in the vein of Three Men in a Boat or Three Men on a Charabanc, which was the follow-up. But I'd have to come up with a name. There'd have to be a selling point. I'd need a couple of years to get it padded out. I mean, I could sketch out an outline now. I mean, whether you go month by month or whether you go with themes. Or I've seen some autobiographies where they do both. Whose was that? Was that Eric Clapton's? No, I don't think it was. Whose have I read? I read Stephen Fry's, or one of Stephen Fry's. He's prodigious. He puts out a lot of autobiographies. Rod Stewart's was fantastic. You wouldn't think Rod Stewart's autobiography is... who else have I... Rod Stewart, Eric Clapton. The Eric Clapton one was quite a big, thick book with quite a few pictures and what have you in, but the water got to it when the tent started leaking water in. That got ruined. I have read some other autobiographies while I've been here. I used to find books by the bins. People will put a pile of them. The bins used to have a flat lid, and people used to put things on the top of the bin. The council didn't like the fact that people were easily you could just flip open the lid and start digging around in the bins. They were only kind of chest high. They've thrown those away and gone with these really big bins that are really deep, so you can't reach in, and with a domed lid. You can't root through the bins as easily. I did used to have a hook for hooking things out, but that got stolen by the police the police in combination with the bin men when they stole my belongings. Yeah, no. Rooting through bins is the thing, but yeah, I'm trying to think whose autobiography it was, where every second chapter, it progressed through life. But so you'd have a chronological chapter and then you'd have a themed chapter even though sometimes it would jump forward to a later part of his life. That might have been the Clapton book. Very sad, very sad. You know, he had a kid called Connor who fell out of a window, a high up window, dead, kaput, gone. Very sad. But I do like a good autobiography. I read Benjamin Franklin's a few times. That's a strange one, the Benjamin Franklin autobiography, because it's in two halves. Before the Revolutionary War, War of Independence, whatever you want to call it, before and then after, and he's a very different person after. Before, he's coming up with all these ideas. He's very inventive. He's quite almost a fun character, but he's a Quaker, and he's got these rules and these ways of, I'm not going to say manipulating people, but these ways of making friends and influencing people. And he's got his publishing backstory. But after the war, he's a very somber, solemn character, and he's a much older man. I'm not sure how much after the war it was, or after the first part was written, but he's a much older man, and it's a very different feel to the second half. Interesting. I do like a good autobiography. Some of the best meat that Scotty808, hello, I didn't see you arrive. I'll scroll back in a minute. Some of the best meat you've had has been roadkill, hare, deer, duck, yeah. You don't see, I've never seen any roadkill. Oh, okay, I tell a lie. Cats. Cats are the only thing I've seen killed around here by cars. Not even hedgehog, only cats. There's a huge jawbone out here at the minute. Don't know where it came from. Either a big dog, fox maybe, but definitely not cat or rat or mouse. You know what I mean? It's bigger, much bigger jaw than Tina's. Dog shaped ish. I'm no expert, but my guess would be it's a dog jawbone. But there hasn't been like a rotting carcass out here. The jawbone's just here in the hedge, like out of nowhere. Like someone's walked past or driven past and thrown it out. Weird. But suddenly there's a jawbone there. But no, I don't think I've seen anything by way of roadkill. Well, I'm in a city. I'm on the edge of a city. Yeah. There was Josie arriving. One man, one tent, one dog. Except it's a story of, is it 3 tents or 4? 3 tents and a homemade shelter. Yeah. I went with the down and out thing has literary connotations. George Orwell, down and out in, I never remember which way around the two cities are, Paris and London and Paris. You've also got the Nick Nolte film, Down and Out in Beverly Hills. That's not quite so literary, but it was an enjoyable enough film. I downloaded it and watched it a little while back. Living rough through Spanish exile. Alexander, hello Alexander. I think you're new to me. Not to be mean, but you're getting on in age now. I'm not as old as the white beard makes me look, my friend. I'm only in my mid-50s. What's your plan for when you're no longer able to be on the street? There was never a plan to be on the street, mate. This isn't like a choice. Would the Spanish government house you? No, I wouldn't have thought so. I've never I'm not on the books in Spain. I've never contributed in Spain. I don't see any reason why they should house me, except if they decide they don't want homeless people. I have to get back to the UK. I've got thousands of pounds in the bank in the UK. They just won't let me have it. They're protecting the account holder, which is me, from this weird man in Spain who says that he's me, because he might be trying to steal my money. Long story, TrampCast 001. There's a 2.5 hour backstory. Fill your boots. But it was never a choice to be homeless. I was living happily in an apartment. The money in my bank, in my main bank account ran out, but rather cleverly, I'd put a rainy day fund to one side. And when I went to access the rainy day fund, they said, oh, that account's closed. Nobody took any money in or out. Nobody put any money in or took any money out in so long. We declared it dormant and closed it for you. Oh, thank you. And then they gave me a procedure to get my money back, and that procedure is to walk into my branch of that bank in the UK, no other branch, no other procedure, walk into that branch in the UK and present your passport and 2 other items of ID. I'm in Spain with a little bit of legal trouble, can't get to the UK, also no money to get to the UK. Me and my dog, it would cost hundreds to get a dog to the UK. What do you do? Got arrested at the airport because there was a warrant that no one had told me about. Now there's frequently a warrant for not appearing in court for a case that they never tell me about, or there was, and it would have been like potluck, go to the airport and either get arrested or not. And even if I'm not arrested, they're going to say, how long have you been in the country? We've no record of you entering recently. What's going on? So yeah, so it was never a choice to be. It was never a choice to be homeless. It's not like I set off to be homeless. Ryan says many tramps kept a diary and published them. I have one that is written in old school English. Interesting stuff. Do you have any Brexit? I don't have any residency. No. No, I don't. I arrived 4 months before Brexit. Here's the thing. 4 months before the Brexit vote. Okay? So, on 3 months when I should do the residency, the NIE and all of that, the world was very uncertain. There was going to be a vote in a month. Do I want to do residency and start all that malarkey when Brexit might happen and who knows what's going to happen? So much uncertainty. Also, Spain was in the middle of 3 general elections. Spain's politics was in turmoil, and the 2016 election that Trump won was in the offing as well. So there was all this uncertainty internationally, nationally. It's all very. So are you going to go and start a paperwork process, say 3 weeks before the Brexit vote? So I hesitated, I waited. And then the Brexit vote happened, and there was even more. I thought that all the governments would have had like I thought they would have had the details hammered out in the background. Brexit would have been announced, the result of the referendum, and processes would have been in place, things would have been clear, and then I could have like decided, am I staying, am I going, can I stay, do I have to go? All of that I thought would have been resolved fairly quickly. I didn't know it was going to take them 3 years to fucking sort it out. So I had this uncertainty hanging over, and I hesitated. That's all it was. It wasn't like a deliberate, I wasn't being malicious, I wasn't trying to be an illegal immigrant, I entered the country entirely legally at the time. But I hesitated because uncertainty. What's going to happen? What is this process? Thinking that governments would have had a deal sorted already. If it goes this way, we'll go. I blame David Cameron. We'll just discuss Brexit briefly. I don't want to upset my friend Chippy, who I don't think he's here at the minute, but I thought what should have happened, David Cameron should have stayed out of it. He should have said, I'm your Prime Minister. This guy's gonna do the leave vote. Those guys are gonna do the remain vote. Whatever you decide, the people, I will implement. And in those months running up to that vote, he should have been in the background with the civil service deciding on what the process is. With the civil service and with the diplomats, internationally and within the UK, they should have had decisions made, processes in place. It should have all been worked out so that if it's leave, this is going to happen and it's going to happen quickly, or if it's remain, okay, status quo more or less, isn't it? Nothing would have changed if it was remain. They should have been working on the contingencies. It was a total failure of government. You might even have considered a coalition with Labour and Conservative to implement Brexit in the national interest, to take politics out of the mix, like they did during the war. You had a coalition because it was too big for party politics. Party politics should have stepped out of the fucking way. So anyway, all this is by way of saying uncertainty, doubt. Who the hell's going to start a process 3 weeks before we might have to leave? So I didn't, and I hesitated, and then once you're months or years too late to start a process, can you walk into the National Police Station and say, hey guys, here I am. I'm a little bit late, but hey, let's do the residencia thing. And the NIE or TIE as it's now for the Brits. Bah. And then my money ran out, my main money, and my rainy day fund was declined. It was refused to me, and I was given this preposterous thing of having to step into my branch. I offered, can I go to the solicitors, get a solicitor's letter, proof to the solicitor or to notary? Here's my passport, let's get a copy, let's get it notarized, signed as a true and valid copy. I could go to a police station or the court. Maybe I could get a policeman or someone at the court, maybe even a judge, to say, yes, this is him. They wouldn't have any of it. Walk into your branch, which they've closed, by the way, but walk into your branch in the UK with this police thing hanging over me, and it was all a nightmare. Now, the police thing is kind of sort of possibly resolved, except they had the trial without me when they shouldn't have. They knew where I was, they had my address, they had my phone number, they had my email address, and they went and had the trial without me after 5 years, 5.5 years. So that really should be appealed and gone through again. And long story, mate, long story. Give it a week. Yeah, when my friend Karen comes over with it, well, I've got the clippers, but she'd come over and clip the hair and take the beard off. I'll probably keep the big Sam Elliott moustache again. I might have to. I had to go at clipping it just with scissors the other day because it was annoying me when I was drinking coffee and beer. It was dripping down and running off my chin, and it was all a bit of a nightmare. I washed my t-shirt this week, folks. I washed my t-shirt like a proper real wash. Because I've now got all this water, I can probably wash some clothes for once. Just the basics, a couple of t-shirts, a pair of undies kind of thing. The shorts, I've been wearing these shorts all summer. I can probably spare enough water and washing up liquid to get those washed. You should have seen the colour of the water. I only did them in this little cylinder that I've got. I didn't use a full bowl. But it was like sludge. Put the t-shirt in, the water goes fuck off like dark brown. Take the t-shirt out, wring it out as much as you can, throw the water away, next set of water, put the t-shirt back in. Now it's going to have some of the brown water from the previous wash still in it, but no, the water just goes like dark brown again and again and again. And then eventually today I actually put some washing up liquid. I got it like a light enough brown. I put some washing up liquid in, some detergent. Detergents stick to dirt and keep it in the water kind of thing. So I did that, gave it a couple of rinses. I probably used 10 or 12 litres of water in total to wash one t-shirt. That's how bad it was. Put it out to dry and picked it up this evening just before, like 30 seconds before TrampCast started. The proper TrampCast earlier, the one at 5 o'clock, at 4 o'clock UK. That one, I just put the t-shirt on 30 seconds before I went live. Let me get back in chat and come down and see. She's going to do his hair and beard. Yeah, she's going to do my hair and beard, yeah. Whether I wash my hair before or after is a question. It'll use much less water after, but it'll probably be a better cut and whatever if I wash it before. I haven't washed my hair in 18 months. Hence the guy joking about my cheesy ball sack the other day. But yeah. Cut it with the edge across here. Yeah, I do that sometimes. Yeah, sideways on. It's never cut me anyway. I don't think it's ever cut me. Let me just go back. A week tomorrow you fly. Monday, yeah. Okay. Where are we? Oh. Okay, Alexander's carrying on. I'm honestly surprised if you're essentially an illegal immigrant in Spain that the Spanish government doesn't just deport you back to the UK. I guess the UK, they don't deport illegals either. So I had the head of the Policia Local in the field here trying to arrest me one time. And I told him that the land's private and that, you know, he can fuck off. He was trying to tell me I had to move, I had to go away. And I was saying, private land. The owner hasn't complained. Without a complaint from the owner, I'm not trespassing. So they went a different route. Well, they tried the land registry and they were wanting to contact the owner to solicit a trespass, to ask the owner if he would trespass me. But while they've got a name for the owner on record, they haven't got contact details. Apparently, or allegedly. That's what it looks like anyway. So they went a different route. They started talking about immigration. I mentioned this in TrampCast proper earlier. I'll just mention it briefly here. I won't go in depth. As far as I understand it, they've deported almost no Brits since Brexit. Maybe a few that have committed proper real crimes, not your disorderlies and your Friday night rubbish. Maybe proper crimes, but it's probably single figures that have been of Brits that have been deported from Spain since Brexit for overstaying. You got a nominal 3-month visa when Brexit happened. If you weren't resident, you got a nominal 3-month visa. So 3 months after Brexit was finalised, which was January the 1st, 2021, maybe. Can't remember what year it was. Hello, Thomas. But they're not deporting Brits that have overstayed unless they've done something seriously wrong. They've got bigger problems with illegal immigrants, like the UK. Torre Pacheco, I think it was, the town about an hour's drive south of here where they had all the trouble last week. And you've got the stuff on the south coast with the drug smugglers, just off to the side from Gibraltar, all down there, that stretch of coast. They've got bigger problems than a guy in a tent who's not hurting anybody, not doing any harm. So yeah. I just got to scroll back a bit because it jumped forward again. Okay, there's that one, Alexander. 5 weeks to go for Josie. Okay. Karen's become a great friend. If you watch TrampCast 001, you'll see that Karen, so that was my first ever live stream. Not just the first on this channel, like literally my first ever. Didn't know what I was doing, but people had asked questions. I'd drawn up like an outline of how to answer people, and try and tell them in order. Try and give like a narrative. And Karen was this, I think, the second or maybe third, but I think second person to kind of say hello in the chat. And then later on in the same stream, she says, if you watch that video, I've got a beard that's like down here. It was quite rectangular, long and narrow. And my hair hadn't been cut in 2 years. And I'd had this thing where an elastic band had rotted in my head, in my hair. And I'd had to cut around and like give myself a Friar Tuck baldy kind of cut. I thought it was going to come out as a Friar Tuck baldy. It actually came out looking like a long crew cut, like a proper Navy crew cut, not the stupid. People get this wrong. In the Navy, a crew cut, you're supposed to be able to reach overboard a ship and grab someone by the hair and pull them in. So it's not the 2mm thing that we call a crew cut now. A proper crew cut actually has hair that you can grab. I ended up with what was fairly tidy crew cut at one point, but Karen came on the scene about 9 months after that. But I had this elastic band rot, and it was starting to kind of twist and turn and pull everything tight. It took me weeks to loosen it off enough where I could lift it up about an inch from my head, take scissors and cut all around, and take this kind of scalp. There was like I had a ponytail back then. I had a ponytail, but I had this. The ponytail was there. This gummed up rotten elastic band, and then there was a scalp. Then there was like a mass of hair. It was just like a scalp, but without the skin, obviously. But it was all matted and it was quite bad. I was in quite a state. I cut that off the day before Christmas Eve, whatever year that would have been. 2022 maybe? I'm guessing. And it was Karen's first time watching a live stream on YouTube. So she didn't know how to do chat and all the rest of it. Yeah. And she's been a great support and a great friend ever since. Her and her whole family. If they have bigger problems, read the mail. Oh, Josie. Don't mention the paperwork. I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it. There was Thomas arriving. I think I'm up to date, unless it's jumped stupidly. I think I've caught all of Alexander's comments. I don't think I've missed anything. I certainly haven't missed anything deliberately. But the chat is jumping. Sometimes I'm scrolling back and it jumps to the bottom. Sometimes I'm trying to get to the bottom and it jumps way up. I'm going to try and do an update tomorrow. See whether there's a YouTube app update. See whether it does the same on the tablet. Maybe it might be a difference in operating systems versions. I managed to get this one to Samsung's OS 7 or whatever it's called. This one I can't. The updates will only work over Wi-Fi. This is using the phone's hotspot, so it's over Wi-Fi. The phone's using its mobile data, so it won't update. It'll update other devices, it just won't update itself because it's not coming in over Wi-Fi. Yeah, okay, Thomas is having problems with YouTube app on his phone. Yeah. Something different. What's the weather there? It's been a little bit cooler this week, but more humid. There's been a few more clouds around, but it's getting hotter again, and it's going to get hotter this next week. Back up and around 35 and 36 some days, I think, the last I checked. I'll check again now live for you, but give us a second. Go on in, hit that. I've noticed it getting a little bit cooler at night. It's no longer like 30 degrees at night. We're now getting down around 26 and 25. I think one day we were down around 23 overnight. This is a strange, because I've been sleeping on top of the bed now for, is it 5 months? Not in bed, no covers over me. I'm on the top of the bed. I actually got like a little bit cool. I felt a little bit cold about 6 o'clock one morning. One morning this week I was starting to think about maybe I can just lift one of these covers up and get under. I didn't. I struggled on manfully. Let's have a look. This week, oh, they've downgraded the forecasts. 31 and 32 are the maximums that I'm seeing. Okay, that's interesting. They've come down from 35s and 36s. It was climbing, so we're under 30 for the first couple of days of the week. On one of the nights, it's going to be down to 22. So any minute now, we might break the run of tropical nights, which they define as a night staying above 20 degrees all night long. If between today and tomorrow it doesn't drop below 20, it's a tropical night. But we've got one dropping to 22. And this will have been going on now for about, what, 3 months? Every night, 23, 25, sometimes 26 and 27 all night long. Bloody ridiculous. I remember when I was sharing an apartment with Christian, I remember 3 o'clock in the morning and it was still 34 degrees. I had to go outside and take a picture of the thermometer. So 34 degrees outside at like 3 in the morning. Crazy. But it looks like it's starting to get a little bit cooler. It looks like maybe we're over the hump. Maybe we're over the worst of it. That's what I want to tell myself. No more 36s and 37s. I haven't used my big clock as a thermometer this year too much. And I have still lost a thermometer here somewhere, somehow. But I remember one year where the weather forecast was saying it was just headed for 40 one day, and inside the tent was 50 degrees. You walked inside and you could just feel it hit you. You know, like that feeling when you get off the plane, when they make you come down the stairs on a plane and they open the doors and you step out and you're hit. You're coming out of the air-conned kind of plane and you're hit by the heat from outside. You don't quite get the same thing when you're in one of those tunnel things coming out of the plane and down to the terminal. But when you get off the plane in fresh air, come down the steps, you get hit by it and you just really feel it. Well, it was like that just walking into the tent. Yeah, no, that was, and I had my clock with a digital thermometer on it, showing 50 degrees. There's a video probably 2 years ago showing that. If anybody wants to go and look back through my videos, click on the channel name, Delta Mike down and out in Torrevieja. Click there, videos. Maybe reverse the order so that you're looking at oldest first, and then work your way through them down the list. The thumbnail will be a picture of a round black clock with a number 50 on it, I think. Yeah, crazy hot, 50 degrees inside the tent, because a tent is basically a polytunnel. It's like a greenhouse. Your history view only shows the last viewed videos. Is there not show all as an option next to it? I can click show all and get a lot. It shows 3 or 4 on a little like carousel next to each other. But then there's a show all button at the right. Or should be. Make sure you're using the latest version and that your operating system's up to date. Karen's got warning for strong winds tomorrow, and she says it's cold. She knows, yeah, it's feeling cold. Karen is so acclimatized to Spain that she can't handle the UK anymore. That's all I'm going to say. Round your area, Alexander, all the homeless seem like junkies, alcoholics, loud and disruptive, arguing in the street. It's the same here. I don't mix with the fucking homeless. Jesus, no, not if I can help it. They're all either druggies, alkies, or psycho cases. The few that I have talked to, there's one English bloke who lived in this field for 3 months, just over the way. He's the only one that I like and have anything to do with. There was a Moroccan, was he Moroccan or Tunisian? There was a group of them, some were from Morocco, some were from Tunisia. There was one bloke who seemed okay, and then he flipped on me one day out of nothing and wouldn't explain what his problem was. He was wanting a stand-up, knock-down fight in the street, and I didn't know why, and he wouldn't tell me why. I was that close from hitting him. I was that close. But yeah, he did that. No offense, ladies, but he did that feminine thing of, if you don't know, I'm not telling you. You're just supposed to fucking read their minds. So yeah, I don't have much to do with homeless myself. I dissuade as many people as possible who ask if they can stay in this field. I dissuade as many as possible. I don't want to cause like more of a problem for my neighbours. There's about 20% of the people who live here who positively dislike me, just don't want me here. They've never spoken to me, they don't know me, they just don't want to talk to the tramp in the field. And so when they drive past, they stay stone-faced looking forward. Even, you know, the passengers and everyone in the car. Or they'll even look the other way as they're coming past. They'll look that way, away from me. I'll be there waving and a big smile on my face, trying to say hello and be nice with everybody. And some wave back. Most either wave back or pip a horn as they're going past. But you just get this 20-25% who just stony faced, ignorant, who just do not. The worst ones are people who are walking past, who look right at me, catch my eye, see me wave at them, and then they look away. Oh, fucking ignorance. When a person waves at you, he's showing you he's empty-handed, he's not got a weapon, he means you no harm. It's a hail, fellow traveller, well met kind of signal. And it's, for most people, it's instinctive to wave back. Men in particular, men more than women. But some women the same, and some people are just, they'll look, scowl, or maybe they're just trying to concentrate and understand what they're seeing, see you wave, and then look away. Okay, fuck you too. But I wave at everyone who walks past if I catch their eye and you know, say hello if it's appropriate. Essex, okay. Peanut the squirrel must have said something. Retracted themselves? Or been banned? Oh, there we go. England is being surrounded by China and Russia subs. Potentially. There was a story a few months ago, wasn't there, about them cutting cables or planting like listening devices next to undersea internet cables. Yeah, the history function does show you the last. It's reverse chronological, so it does just show you what you've seen last, the last 2 or 3 usually, or maybe 4. Karen nearly put the heating on in August. What's going on, Peanut? What's all the message retracted stuff? You're having a problem with your keyboard? I might have to time you out if it carries on. I didn't ban him yet, says Karen. Yeah, no, I don't know what all the message retracted is your keyboard gone wonky? Or are you saying something nasty and then deleting it before we see it? Don't know. I've got no context for the fancy MI5 comment. The last I saw was Russian subs. Have I missed something? I'm not, my chat's still jumping around. I'm a little bit unsure what's going on with Peanut. Keeps bringing me back to Thomas's post. It jumped again. Sorry, I can't keep. Psychic 3 I Spy. I got no clue, mate. It's random. What are you saying? Oh, your friend with the catamaran moored in Almeria. I'd go back to the UK if I could get back there, but there's going to be border control at some point, yeah? Don't think you can just jump on a boat and just go. There's port of entry and port of exit and customs and what have you. I'd have the same problem that I had at the airport, the randomness of whether I get stopped. The border control and immigration people wanting to know how long I've been here. Now they'll be wanting to check a passport which is water damaged because it flooded. There's just logistics. I'd go, but it's just the uncertainty and the logistics of how it would work and the risks of border control, and if they thought that it was like a, not people smuggling's not the right word, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I want to go back to the UK. I've got to go back to the UK. I want to get my money out of the bank. It's not a lot of money, but it's enough for me to get set up and get started again. Yeah, no, it's not that I've chosen to be, well, I chose to come to Spain when I came to Spain, but I haven't chosen to be homeless and to be homeless in Spain. This was an interview I did with a Spanish couple in Spain, where he was asking, would you prefer to be homeless in Britain or in Spain? And the obvious answer is, if it was just those two options, homeless in Spain is preferable just because of the weather, in winter in particular. I wouldn't know how to live homeless in the UK. I'd be dead. I wouldn't get through a winter. -3 and -4 degrees. How do you do that? And wet and everything. Here, it doesn't rain that much. And the lowest temperature I've seen has been 4 degrees. +4, not -4. So if it was just those two options, obviously Spain's preferable. But those aren't the only options. If I can get back to Britain, I can walk in my bank and I can get my money, and then I can get a flat or apartment, whatever you want to call it, and then I should have enough left over to buy a bit of equipment and start a new business and build from there. Nothing to start up here, says Karen. Did I say Spanish couple? Scottish couple in Spain? Yeah. I sometimes say the wrong words when I'm in flow. Everybody's leaving the UK? I'm getting a bit... These redacted messages are... let me get to the bottom and see what's going on. It keeps jumping back to the top now. Why is it doing that? I was here. I don't want to do anything just yet. And it's jumped right back up to redacted messages from Peanut. And Karen saying everybody's leaving. Walking to... I've got... Are you talking about here or in the UK? I've got 2 survival sleeping blankets here. I've got two backup tents, a 2-man and a 3-man. I've got everything I need survival-wise here now because of donations and things from people. But those are strictly for emergency use. If a tree fell on the tent or the power lines fell on it, and I'd, grab, go, a backup tent and a sleeping bag. But in the UK, I'm not a thief. I don't steal things, so I wouldn't walk into Decathlon. I didn't even know Decathlon was even in the UK. Are we talking about the UK? I wouldn't grab anything and leave. I'm not that kind of guy. In the same way that people tell me to go and squat in a building, and I couldn't do that. I couldn't like break into an empty apartment and squat in it. That's repulsive to me. I couldn't do that. Setting up a tent in the corner of someone's field where I'm not doing any damage, it's crossing a line. But as long as the owner's not complaining and I'm not doing any damage, I don't see any harm or foul in doing things this way. In the UK, I wouldn't know how to survive. A sleeping bag and a tent, yeah, but how long's a tent going to last? I haven't seen a tent last more than 7 months yet without taking on critical damage. Now that might be Spanish sun and ultraviolet and all of that, which is why we've got a bloody big tarp over this one this time. In the UK, they might not go as quickly, but you've probably got more wind. You've got more stresses from winds and storms. Don't know. In the UK to survive the winter, yeah. I get you. Fama, Fabrizio, hello everybody, everyone, everybody, everywhere. Josie's here as well. Stealing things to prevent death is not a crime. Yeah. I mean, I have got a YouTube presence now. I could just... Would I rename the channel? What would I rename the channel? If I was in Britain. If I was in Britain now, and I've got a following, I've got YouTube and PayPal and a payment card and things. What would I call the channel, folks, if it was in the UK? I can't be down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike down and out in Britain. Delta Mike, boots on the ground, I like the sound of. That sounds kind of, I don't know. Delta Mike is back. Don't know what I would call it or what the focus would be. If I was homeless in the UK, then yeah, the down and out thing still. But if I get back to the UK, I get my forms of ID somehow and get to the bank and get my money and build back. Oh God, I don't want to say build back better. That's cringe. That's politician speak. When was the last time I had a drink, folks? My mouth is dry as heck. Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, everyone that's here. Especially those that have hit the like button. The thumbs up. I'll give it a minute and I'll say cheers to you again. And any of you that haven't hit the like button yet, well, you've got an opportunity, haven't you? You've got a minute, let's say, to hit the like button. And when I say cheers to those that have hit the like button, it'll be to you. Anybody? Go on, you know you want to. And anybody that's lurking out there, if you've not said hello in chat, if you've been here a few times before and you're shy, you don't like to or don't know how to use the chat, under the player, if you're in a browser, under the player, there'll be a single chat bubble, a speech bubble like in comics. Or if you're on mobile and you touch your screen, you'll see a a chat bubble, a speech bubble. Hit that. The right hand side of your screen will become a series of messages that people have said already, and at the bottom of that is a little text box where you can type, and a little button next to it where you send when you're ready. That's how we do chat around these parts. If anybody, see, people just expect. Disconnected when I was mid-sentence, folks. People just expect everyone to know how to use YouTube, and a lot of people don't. It's a little bit daunting for some people. I should do a video explainer maybe for people at some point of the different features and what the different icons mean and everything. Especially on mobile, on Windows, on a proper computer, you can hover over a button and you'll get a little tooltip, a little description of what it is, what it does. You don't get that on a tablet. I started using a new app today. Was it today? I think it was. The Samsung Notes app. And it's got all these icons that are not obvious what they do. And there's no hit F1 for help. There's no hover for a tooltip. There's no click a question. There used to be in Windows, like you click a question mark and your mouse pointer would change and have a question mark next to it. And then whatever button you clicked or area of the screen you clicked next would come up with like a little help file to tell you what that area of the screen is or what that button does. And you used to have things called CHM files. They weren't compressed. What was it? Was it compressed hypertext markup? Compressed isn't right. The C was compiled. Compiled hypertext markup. That was a Windows help file. There's none of that anymore. Nothing has help. There's no tooltips. I have got things on screen now that I don't know what they do. And the only way to find out what they do is to push them. And I'm in the middle of a live stream. I'm not pushing random fucking buttons. Anyway, folks, I said two of you took me up on the clicking the like button. So cheers to you guys. Cheers to everybody that's clicked the like button or the thumbs up button, however you want to refer to it. Cheers to you guys. Just slightly more than a mouthful. Let's finish that one. Been on 2 hours. I think I just finished my first can, yeah? Oh, I can't reach the bin. I threw it and it went in a funny direction. Now, don't tell Farmer, but my light is perched. I was going to say purchased. That's not the right word. My light is perched on top of. It was perched on top of 3 beer cans. Now it's precariously perched on 2. And we know what happens when that happens, don't we? Don't we, Fabrizio? The light attacks me, or the phone. It comes down and knocks the phone onto the floor, or knocks drinks over. It knocked a drink can over one time, didn't it? That was bad. Mouth is very dry. Where are we, folks? Where are we? We're 2 hours in. We haven't got a topic to actually. I watched a video the other day of a guy walking into Greg's and trying to just. He walked in. When people were queued, there was a proper line. He walked straight to the front and just started picking up and putting it in his pockets. A drunk homeless guy. And the guy that was at the front of the queue wasn't having any of it. He fucking grabbed it and started putting it back. And then he grabs the guy and escorts him, shall we say, out of the door. And he pushes him across the pavement towards the road. And then he sticks a leg out and just takes the guy to ground and throws him on the floor. It was well done. He did a good job. Probably shouldn't have thrown him onto the floor in the middle of the road, but I'm not complaining. I think people have been watching too many videos from America where places like California don't count it as shoplifting until you get to $1,000. These places where the security guards don't do anything and the staff don't do anything, probably under orders from their insurance companies. Well, from head office, who were under orders from their insurance companies. I was a security guard once upon a time. I'd have done something. To this day, I still would do something. We've discussed in the past how I moved towards trouble rather than away from. We won't get bogged down in conversations we've had before. Whoa. A flashlight with some lube, no thanks. Only slightly used. I'm not going to guess what you used for lube. Oh, you see, we're all seeing different numbers. Farmer says 5 people took me up on the offer. I'm seeing 22. I was seeing 20 before when I said I was seeing 20 when I made that offer of saying cheers to people. You must just be behind on the hold on. Was 18. You're saying you're seeing 23 now. I'm still seeing 22. Cheers, Prost. Kipis. I don't think he's still here. Kipis. Salud in España. Or what's the other one they do? Arriba, abajo, centro, por dentro. It's above, below, in the middle, and for inside, roughly speaking, if I remembered it correctly. Get that light away from the beer, it has legs. Yeah. Put the empty ones there. Do you know, I should have, but I crushed it without thinking. I do that often. I've done that a few times now. Crush them, don't even reach the bin, but throw them towards the bin. This time it caught the edge of the EcoFlow and bounced off in a weird direction. Instead of landing on or in the bin, it took a deflection. Unfortunate. But it does, it attacks, that light attacks the beer. It does. It does. Oh, where'd that go? What was that? Okay. Had the problem of people stealing from liquor stores here. Police found one and chased him. Went wrong way on the highway. Killed a husband. Oh, shit. 65-year-old and a child as well. Jesus. That's no good. Farmer scene 23. Have you? I don't know if you were here when I said Farmer. The other day, the Friday night one, we finished on 30. It looked like we were going to finish on 38. That would have been the record. And just as I was finishing, it dropped down one, and the official figure at the end was 37. So I don't know whether to count 38 because I saw it. That was the record during. But at closeout, somebody re-clicked to the button and took a thumb away. So it was a joint record rather than a new record. Proust is the Dutch cheers. Skål is my mate, is my Norwegian friend. Is Thomas still here? Skål in Norway. Oh, Sweden. Is Sweden the same? Kipis in Finland. Salud Spain, and can be France as well. I mean, I get salud is health. I guess you could just say health or to your health. That would be an acceptable toast in Britain as well. But cheers is the more common. Oh. It jumped again. Somebody said hello, I'm back. Oh. No. Okay. Ivan, back again. When you get back home, will you be getting a job, and what might that be? It'll be hard for you to get back in the flow again with working. I'll probably start my own business again. I've had a big problem in my life of getting employed. Uh, the number of times that how do you say this without sounding arrogant? Overqualified is a theme that I heard a lot. Let's say. Oh, the other one was after I graduated, I was a bit older than everybody else. I applied for a lot of graduate jobs because I was a recent graduate. Always got down to the last two or three, and always got rejected at the end for being too old. And I'm like, but you wasted my time. If I was too old, then I was too old on day one. Why am I getting rejected when I'm sat here on a Friday waiting to hear whether I got the job or not? Actually, it's a Monday that they tell you that the person who gets the job will get the call on Friday. He gets the job offer on Friday, but he's gonna sit and think about it over the weekend. So on Monday, if you get the call, chances are you've been told the other guy got it. If you get the job offer on a Monday, that means the other guy turned it down. He was offered it and turned it down. Um, the number of times I did assessment centres, I did all sorts of whole weekend assessment centres, from Thursday through to kind of Sunday sometimes, and yeah, we'll call you this week, and oh no, and the other guy got, oh, okay, can I ask what did I do wrong, or what did you not like, what oh well, in the end what we thought was that we were just looking for a 22 or 23-year-old graduate, and you're whatever I was, 27, 28. Too old. Too old for a graduate job. And anything else I applied for, overqualified. Tried for a job in a bookies because I'm pretty good at maths. And that was a listed requirement. I had A-level maths equivalence. I had A-level economics, A-level criminology, plus stats in my degree and everything. Overqualified. You'll get bored in this job, they'd tell me. And I'm like, can I make that decision? I'd prefer something that's got money coming in to being sat with no money coming in. So in the end, I started my own business, and that's probably what I would do again. I would be looking at something like laser cutters, laser engravers that you can buy for a few £100, and you start a business just printing images. Printing's the wrong word. Engraving images into slate or into wood or into. You find a nice chopping board or a piece of wood that can be a chopping board, and get a logo for a bar or a restaurant or something engraved, and give them like a pack of 20. You got to seal it all back up again and do whatever the wood, the food. There's specific oils you use on chopping boards. Do that and hand over coasters, chopping boards, placemats for a bar, but not just for them to use on the tables. Ones that they can put on a shelf or on the wall and that they can sell to customers afterwards if they've had a good time at the restaurant or whatever. You can do logo. You can etch into glass or into cups and things. Or there's dye sublimation printers. Get these little connect them to a computer. It's all CNC, is it called? What does it stand for? Computer numerically controlled, I think CNC stands for. You've got these laser engravers, you've got dye sublimation printers, you've got 3D printing. That's a little bit more difficult to make a business out of, but it's possible. But just something like that. Take it, get out and about, knock on a few doors, go to some bars and restaurants and say, hey, do you know what you really need? Oh, I see your menu holder there. He's just plain. Oh, I could get you a set of those, and or give me and I can get them engraved with the name of your bar, or with an image, a picture. If you've got some kind of picturesque photograph of the property, if it's a good looking place, you can take that away and, what's the word? Is it posterize or rasterize? Anyway, you do that and you turn it into a black and white line art thing, and then you engrave away with the laser. There's a business to be had there. And a lot of people have got these laser engravers and things, and they're just waiting for customers to come to them. They're just putting word out, hey, we can do that. But I'd be a bit more proactive. Go to a restaurant, go to a chain of restaurants, go to a whole bunch of bars locally, and find what they want. Coasters, wooden coasters, either circular or square, with a picture of the bar or with the logo or whatever. Engraved, burnt into the wood. Like I said, it'd be something that they can either give away to their regular customers, or something that people would buy. Chopping boards, I think, is a good one. I really do think people are good. If you go to like the best 3 restaurants in a city, and the people who go there would buy coasters or a chopping board that was branded, literally, because it's burnt in, it's etched in with a laser. I didn't think of that. That's good though, branded. That's a good pun. Maybe you could work that into the name of the company. Branding. Yeah. Delta Mike Branding Limited. I don't know, something like that. That's there's a germ of an idea there, folks. But yeah, that's one idea I've had. There's lots of others, but if you can buy a machine for 200 or 300 or 500 or 1,000, because I'd have a little bit of money set aside, but a little bit of money, a little bit of getting out and about, knocking on doors, making phone calls, whatever, and a bit of getting on and doing, there's a business to be had there. Also a bit of marketing. You got to market. Get your name out there. I could do that. But working would be difficult, not because getting into the flow, but because just this problem I always had of getting employed. Also now there's a big gap in my CV. If you meet someone who's not worked for 9 years, when you're a company and you're looking through someone's CV, you see a 9-year gap and your first thought is, cunt's been in the big house for 9 years. He's been locked away at His Majesty or Her Majesty's pleasure. So explaining the gap in the resume or CV. Yeah, I'd be setting up my own business just because. It's jumped. I don't think it's jumped down too far. Weather warning for strong winds on the motorway tomorrow, says Karen. What? Farmer, where are you going there? Oscar, did I know you were here? You're going and I'm not sure I knew you were here. Or did you arrive really early and you've been quiet this whole time? If I was homeless in the UK, this is Alexander. If I was homeless in the UK, I'd definitely just go to Portugal or Spain and be homeless there. Sun, beaches, so much rain, damp. Yeah, okay. That's my mate Joby kind of did that. He was about to be made homeless in the UK. He still had a bit of money in his pocket, so he booked a flight, came over here. Now he did it in February, which is the coldest month of the year. He had a rough first night in the opposite, not in this field, but in another field. He didn't have time to set up his tent or anything. He just, I think he slept under his in his sleeping bag, but just out. But what's this? Hot fresh spaghettini. Spaghettini, not spaghettoni. Spaghettini sounds like it's smaller than spaghetti. With homemade tomato sauce. You are you 6 or 7 hours behind us? I'll come from 1 o'clock here, so what? I'm gonna guess 6 o'clock in the evening where you are, mate. Yeah. Is my friend Joby still here in Spain? Indeed he is. He's just south of Torrevieja. Oh fuck. Yeah, he's still here. He went on travels a little. He got a bicycle a while back, and he went on a. He followed the route to one of the pilgrimages, kind of thing, and he went all down the. From here, he went down the east coast or the southeast coast, and along the south coast, past Gibraltar and what have you. He went, and then he started coming back up the west coast. He got about as far up as we are, and then he cut across the country, ended up in Cartagena, and then just cycled the 60 or 80 kilometers, whatever that is, back to his base, and in the south of Torrevieja there. But then someone stole his phone. Some naughty people in his. He had a little kind of commune going. And the person that, when he went off on his travels, the person he left there, they'd started it together, the two of them. But this guy invited some people in, and these people invited some people in, and that third generation kind of invited some people, and he ended up with some crackheads and what have you in the camp. So when he got back, he wasn't happy with these people, but one morning he went off and did. He busks. He has an electric guitar that splits into 2 parts. Joins it together, tunes it, and then plays a few tunes. Doesn't sing, but plays the tunes. And while that was happening, people went in his tent in this commune, in this little camp, and they stole his phone and some money. So he was in a bit of a spot for a little while. But yeah, he's still here. He's all right now. He's on the up again now. So we'll see how that goes. Joanne, asking. Okay, when Farmer said he was cooking spaghettini. I know spaghettoni. I don't know spaghettini. Josie asked a question that I don't understand. I don't know whether it's to me or to Karen, maybe. Are you start in the UK or Spain? Same here if you make an effort, yeah. Okay. I'll be in the UK when I start a business. I can't start a business here. If that's what you're asking. Oh, there's a big one there. I'm not sure if I've read it already, and it jumped. And it jumps away from it every time. What was that big one? Oh, is it one I've read already? Okay. Okay, the strong winds on open roads. You come from a sheltered, yeah, you're in a cut, like through a hill. You've got 2 bits of hill either side, and you're in a road there. You're sheltered. You come out into open road, and the crosswind just takes wagons, lorries, whatever you want to call them, and high-sided vans and RVs. As Farmer was just saying, I think it was. I can't get back there, folks. Well, coordinates numerically controlled, was it? CNC. Numerically. I thought it was compute. Okay. I live and I learn. £70 a week pocket money, 5-star hotel, and your choice of an iPhone or a top of the range Samsung. Couldn't get the word out. Farmer wanted me to say something and I don't know why. Oh, and it jumped. Something about mouthing a phrase. I'm not sure where he was going with that. I think he wanted to practice lip reading or wants other people to. Business. Your new business. Yeah, it'd be the UK for the new business. I can't do anything here. Anything that brings in money would put me at risk of being prosecuted for tax evasion because I'm not registered for NIE, or TIE, the Spanish tax identification number. I would be, because I've already got ongoing legal dealings. It would be just an easy thing for them to just tack on, for them to add. I think as I was saying earlier in the live stream, in the proper TrampCast earlier today, everybody says to me, "Oh, go work in a bar or be a waiter or in a hotel," and everybody does it, and it's like, yeah, but when you're standing in front of the judge, it's not a defense to say, yeah, but everybody does it. That's an admission of guilt that you did it. I got enough legal problems in Spain, thank you. So yeah, I can't do anything business-wise or whatever here, not in my current circumstances. And when I do eventually leave and get back to the UK, I imagine that I will be banned from the whole of the EU. Well, the whole of Schengen, I should say. So yeah, that's there'll probably be a fine and some length of ban, and how long that ban is, it might be a lifetime ban. I don't know. Cheers, folks. Still stuck on 22 likes over here. I'm going to go at the bottom, guys, because the way this is jumping around it's too difficult to go back through them at the minute. What I will do when I watch this back, if there are any questions or comments that need a response, I will either just make a note of them and cover them in the next Hangout, or if necessary, I'll make a video to cover them. Every time I scroll back, it just jumps. Sometimes it's jumping further back, sometimes it's jumping to the bottom. Basically, whichever direction I want it to go in, it'll jump in the other bloody direction. Let me think if I can remember the time zones in America compared to the UK. Compared to Spain, they're 6 hours behind to the East Coast. So compared to the UK, 5 hours, between 5 and 9 hours behind. There are 4 time zones across the continental US. Canada might have an extra 1 or 2 because it's wider. And I'm not quite sure where Fama is within that. But yeah, it's still early there. Evening. Or late afternoon, possibly, depending. Who let the dogs out? Jump around, that was a song as well, wasn't it? But there's also, that reminds me of Run Around. Was the program called Run Around? Run Around Now! With Mike Reed. That ended up on EastEnders. I was going to say Frank Butcher, that's not right. No. Frank the was he the pub landlord? He was for a while. Can't remember. Mike Reed. I can't remember the character on EastEnders, but something about jump around made me think about run around. Which area in Spain do you think is the best to be homeless in? I haven't got any clue. I've got no context. I only know one area. I only know one area in Spain. I've not travelled while I've been here. I've got a dog. I can't even get on a bus. Taxis don't even want to have dogs in. I've been stuck in Torrevieja since I got here. Occasionally went to the dog beach at Santa Pola because there wasn't a dog beach in Torrevieja. Santa Pola's not exactly next door. I've been to Benidorm a couple of times in the past. Didn't travel out of there or anything. We were just on foot while we were there. Don't think I know. I haven't got any context. I haven't got a clue. And I don't know much about being homeless. Surprisingly, after 3 years, I lived in the park for 2 months, and when they came and chopped the tree down that had all my things under it, and all of the tree branches landed on my things, I took that as a hint I had to get out of there. And I came to this field. Kind of by accident. And that's all I know. The police arrived, they told me I had to leave. I said no. Turns out I dropped lucky, and it's not public land. They don't have the right to tell me to leave. They were mistaken, shall we say. And I just stuck to my guns every time they said, you must go, you must go. We're giving you 10 days, we're giving you a week, we're giving you 2 weeks. I just said no. No camping, they'd say, no camping. And I'd say, it's not camping. Camping is a hobby activity. Camping is a leisure activity that people do by choice for fun on a weekend or maybe for a week or 2 in the holidays. This is survival. This is not camping. Survival. Sobrevivienda. Over living. I think the word survival, if you look at French, sur means over or above. Viva is life. So yeah, that's where the word would come from, I would imagine. So the Spanish, sobre is above or over, and vivienda is living, or it might be a different root word. It could just be viva, but I think it's... I used to say sobreviva, but I think that's wrong. I think I read somewhere it was sobrevivienda. That's what I remember. Whether it's right or wrong, my memory may be faulty. Sometimes we've got Spanish speakers in here who will correct me when I get things wrong. 5 or 6 hours behind. Joanne's looked into driving to Spain 2.5 days, or 2 half days. If you're driving, you're going to go down, you're going to catch are you going to get a ferry or are you going to get the channel? There are ferries that will come to Santander and then you've got to go diagonally. If you're going to go to Torrevieja, you've got to come from the west coast to the east coast. Or you can do the channel and drive down through France and through Spain. You have options available. 3 days, okay. It was 2.5, okay. But you think 3 would be better? Could be. Would you be sleeping in a car or would it be hotels on the way? Farmer asks if Karen ever thought about a drive down through the channel then down to Spain. Karen's husband comes down in an RV sometimes. Karen flies out with other members of the family and sometimes friends, and her husband either flies with her or drives down with the RV. on the EcoFlow. Delta, you bugger. You've got what I want. I think I'm okay. I think I'm back. I think I'm on. Whoa! I think it jumped back to where I already was. Oh. Okay, Josie was asking if I'd come back to Spain legal after I get my money. I don't think they'd let me. I think I will be banned from here for some considerable period of time, possibly indefinitely. Because in their eyes I've abused the system. Is Alexander leaving? Where's the... Okay, off to bed. Take care. Thank you for joining us, Alexander. Nice to meet you. Where was it? Okay, it's dragged me right back. Okay, there we go. Okay, folks, there's Alexander leaving. Oh, my arm is going dead. I'm leaning on it too much. I should prop myself up properly. Prop properly. Where is everything? What's going on here? This pillow is wet through. This pillow is wet. Can I use a different half of it? Although the zip, I'll be laying on the zip a little bit. Oh! Hey Tina, you're puffing and panting, darling. You're sitting off the bed as well. Come on, get back up on the bed, Tina. Get up on the bed. Oh, not off the bed. Come on, come on. Oh, up. There's my girl. There's my girl. There we go. You can't sit in the gutter next to the bed, darling. You have to be on the bed, okay? I know I put the quilt there for you in case you fell off so that you didn't land on the ground. But that's not an invite for you to lay there. No. Now, if you want, sweetheart, just give me a minute, folks. If you want, folks, I will just put the fan on for her. Oh, that wasn't a spark from the fan or the EcoFlow. We're on 72%. I'll let it go down to 65 or so, maybe. Let me know if the noise is too annoying, if you can hear that and it's annoying. But I just want to... She's puffing and panting, which means she's either too hot, or maybe she wants a drink of water, or maybe she needs something else. I walked her just before TrampCast, and I walked her after. We'll see. Whoa, fingers in front of cameras. Okay, I'm set at a funny angle now, aren't I? Because I'm not looking directly, because I'm not laying down and looking at you. Maybe I need to reposition the camera a little bit, reposition the phone, maybe a little bit. I don't know, folks. Now I'm sitting funny. I'm sitting that way, but turning my head that way. It's all a little bit awkward. This fly swatter thing, fly zapper. I don't think there are that many flies around. I don't know what it's doing. Is it possible there's a piece of dust or fabric or something caught in it, and when a breeze catches it, it moves and triggers and then keeps doing it without getting destroyed itself? Something strange going on with it. I haven't seen or heard a fly all night, and it's zapping away quite merrily to itself. Not too frequently, but a little bit. Let's show you my Tina girl. Oh, I need to check the battery as well on the phone because it's the tablet that's plugged in, not the phone. Okay, good job I thought of that. We're down to 18% on the phone. Oh, let's plug in. But let's change the camera around. Do this. Find the... I think they've removed one of the extra symbols again. Or maybe they've moved it lower so that you can get to the flash more easily. Feet for the pervs! Woohoo! And a doggy. And the zapper did its zapping thing just at the wrong time and frightened Tina again. Look. Hey babe, you're okay. Tina's okay. Come here, come for a cuddle. Tina? Come here, babe. Come here. Let's get this. Untangle. Good girl. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come to daddy. Come to daddy. Come on. No, you're trying to sit down off the bed again, aren't you? Okay, babe. You got to stay on the bed. I don't know, well, she's looking away from you. Alright, I'll turn the light off. She doesn't like the light. I'll turn that off and I'll turn this back around to me. It's not very light in here today, I don't think. Should I do that one? Maybe yes, maybe no. That's a saying my mate Ismo uses. Maybe yes, maybe no. I think mainly when he didn't understand the question. Joe's is coming over from early September to early October. A good month. Oh! You guys are chatting amongst yourselves. Okay, Farmer was saying that he'd drive a car wherever he's going, just have a car there. Karen doesn't bother with rental cars. Karen has a car. Just traded in the old one and got a new one. And parking at the airport is cheap when they're not here, when they park it up. How much was it, Karen? A couple of $100 a year. Mike is getting way too much use out of that tablet. Why? What have I done now? I tell you what, it charges quickly and it lasts forever. This phone won't, from 100%, if I was using this to watch YouTube in the night, this I would have to charge fully again halfway through the night. The tablet, if it's on 100% and I start using that, it won't need recharging until the middle of tomorrow afternoon, and that's me using it continuously. And when I do plug it in, it'll be charged in an hour or an hour and a half. And it always takes the 14 watts, like the full charge every time. This phone can take it's random. Sometimes it will take 5 watts or 4 watts, sometimes up to 14. But when it's at its lowest, it takes the lowest charge. But other than that, it's just totally random. I can see that it's taking 5 or 6 watts, unplug it, count to 10, plug it back, plug the cable back in the exact same way, and suddenly it'll take 10, 11, 12 watts. It's crazy. It's absolutely random. And if it's only drawing 4 or 5 watts, because it's working as the hotspot for the tablet, it's not even going to charge. It's going to sit there. Well, it will charge, but it'll be a very slow trickle charge. Plug it in on 15 watts and come back 2 hours later and it's only on 20 or 25 because it's only drawing 5 watts or less. I shouldn't complain. I got it for free, and it's a good phone overall. Oh, it's jumping on me. You guys are just talking about how to drive down here. Would you drive a hire car, Mike? Like just the road all the time? I'm curious. I don't drive. I don't drive. I had a bad crash while I was learning. Well, I was stationary. A lorry driver had a bad crash while I was learning. It's just gone up €400. The airport parking gone up to 400 or gone up by 400. That's incredible either way. Who was it that was, I think it was George I was talking to. Was it? Somebody was telling me that in the UK, he'd parked his car at the airport in the UK. It was either Anthony or George. And it was a couple of £100 for a week and a half or 10 days or something like that. Fucking ridiculous. Yeah, when in Spain, that would have got you a year of parking at the airport. But I think Karen was just saying it's gone up a little bit. What did he do without the tablet? I used my other tablet, but it was very slow and laggy, and it was only good for watching YouTube videos. It wouldn't bring up the chat. It wouldn't bring up chat in live streams. I would click to watch a video and wait up to 10 seconds for the video to, well, up to 10 seconds for the adverts to start playing before the bloody videos. Has anybody noticed how many adverts are on YouTube now? How long you have to wait? I've had ones that are about a minute and a half before you can click the skip, or sometimes there isn't a skip button, and then there's another advert after it. If I see any shit like that now, I hit the back button, close the player window, go back to the listing and start the same video again, and it will either give you a much shorter video or no video at all when you go in the second time. Fuck 'em. Some of these sci-fi storyline, these sci-fi videos that I've been watching recently, some of them are really trashy. Some of them are quite good, but the AI draws up the storyline, a different AI turns it into a full script, a different AI does a voiceover, very badly in some cases, and a different AI draws up half a dozen pictures to show as a pretend video, with a bit of zooming in or out of Ken Burns effect, we used to call it. When you start with a still and you start either zoomed in and then you come out so you see more of the picture, or you start out and you zoom in on a specific part. I remember when we started being able to do that with first with JavaScript and then with just CSS, cascading style sheets. Back in my web design days. It's a good effect, but to see it on a video made by AI, some of them are real bad. What was I saying? I came to the sci-fi for a reason. What were we talking about before I mentioned sci-fi? It was a tangent from it. It was using the tablet, using the adverts, the frequency of adverts. Some of those, there's an advert in the first minute, in the third minute, in the fifth minute, and then every 5 minutes through an hour-long story. The number of adverts and some is just crazy. And some of them, if you like dozing, if you're half asleep, and this Spanish-speaking advert comes on, and you think, oh, I don't need to press skip. I'll just wait 30 seconds, it'll be gone. No, some of them are whole stories of their own in the advert that will go on for more than 5 minutes if you let them. The only time anybody listens, the only time anybody lets an advert play more than 20 seconds on YouTube is if they're away from their screen, away from the keyboard, whatever you want to call it, or if they're asleep. It's nobody's listening to that shit. Who's paying for that? What are they doing? I don't get them. I don't understand them. I don't know why you would do that. As a business, you're not getting anything for your money. Oh. So it's gone up to 400, not by 400. That's a big jump, 100% increase, but it's still incredibly cheap for what it is. Like Karen's saying in the chat there, pick up and drop off as frequent as you want. You have to set a time, and they get a little bit unhappy with her sometimes if she's late or but yeah. Okay. I'm moving forward again. I think I'm caught up, and I think I've seen most of this already as I was going backwards. Karen has to go. She's up in the morning. It's a work day. Yeah. Good night, Karen. I don't know how late I am. I don't know how long ago that was. I think that says 125. I don't know why they use grey on grey for the time of the... In web design, that would fail. That's bad contrast. Light grey on a mid-grey background. That's just not enough contrast. Did Karen get the crown again? Guys, you can go in the settings and turn that shit off. Karen can't turn it off. You can in the YouTube app, not in the individual videos or anything. You turn it off on your account as a whole. So when you on the first screen of the app, you click the cog top right. You go into settings, and it's one of the privacy or personal kind of settings. I can't remember now, but I did it a few weeks ago. So I don't see it when I'm on other people's sites. It's turned off across the board for everything. Same setting, we're supposed to turn it off on my channel so that we didn't get this kind of silliness with... What happened to Peanut, by the way? With all the redacted posts and then nothing. I didn't ban him. Did anybody else? You're a mechanic with a crown. I don't know what happened. Look, maybe he's just having trouble with his computer. Or maybe it was going to be a funny bugger and it got auto-redacted by YouTube, maybe? Whoa! I don't know. Mystery. It's a mystery. How many people we got left? There's 9 in the house. We're coming up on 3 hours. If I remember right, is Joanne in Glasgow? I think Glasgow. Or that area. You said he was James Bond. You said he was Paul Daniels. He'll like that. Not a lot. Not a lot. Oh. Okay, folks. What are we doing? Are we going on a little bit longer, or are we going to call it quits on 3 hours? I don't know. I didn't sleep hardly at all last night. I'm surprised I'm still awake now, to be honest. I'll give it another few minutes and we'll see. I might finish in 4 minutes time. I don't know. You didn't ban him. Neither did I, but he's gone quiet, so I didn't even notice that he'd gone. But okay, night, Karen. Cheers. Oh, how long was I leaving the fan on? Tina's enjoyed it. You enjoyed the fan, darling? Okay, so it was going to turn up at 65. It's 66. That's near enough. Let's turn that off. You're nice and relaxed and cool, yeah? Oh, yeah. You're lovely and cool. You're not panting anymore. Okay, folks. Where are we? Glasgow, yeah, okay. 5 hours away from keyboard. AFK. Josie's had the grandkids over, so I need a day of rest. Fair enough, folks. Has anybody got any topics that we can discuss? Topics, questions? There are lurkers out there. There are people there that haven't said hello in chat. We're here and open for it. Didn't put any limits on this one because it's a hangout. Because it isn't a hangout. I put limits earlier on the TrampCast proper because we have had a few trolls recently. The hangouts tend to be a little bit quieter, and so I can manage any shenanigans. So I didn't make it subscriber only or anything. Everybody's welcome. You're welcome to say hello. Come on in, say hello. Tell us what country you're in, maybe, or what city, town. How's the weather? What are you up to? Ask any questions you've got about being a tramp. People are generally a curious bunch. Josie, it's raining hard in Amsterdam. It's so hard that she was shocked by the noise. Wow. Definitely rain, not hailstone. Let me remember this. Yeah, it's only hailstone when it's summer. If you get little ice balls in winter, those are not hailstone. They look like hailstone and they're little balls of white ice. But if you were to cut them in half, hailstone have concentric circles through their cross section. Because as the rain falls, and so it cools, and on the way down, it kind of freezes, then gets carried up again by a warm draft, and comes down again, and it's cooling, and you get these concentric circles of ice building up, and that's hailstone. In winter, when it's just colder, and the stuff just freezes in one go on the way down, technically, not hailstones. Just a silly little bit of knowledge from somewhere, I don't remember where. Ice balls, that's what she said. You got to keep them cool, mate. You've got to keep them cool. That's why it's so wrinkly down there. It's a cooling mechanism. I'll shut up now. I'll get my coat. as they used to say. Oh, we seem to have been stuck on 23 likes for a while. There must be somebody out there that I'm entertaining who's forgot to press the thumbs up button. Maybe. We are on 3 hours. Am I carrying on, folks? I'll carry on if you want, if you give me topics and questions. You got to come into chat. We got a few people leave. Who's actually here? Who's active at the minute? Karen's just left. Joanne's still here. Josie's here, I think, but maybe not for long. She's had the grandkids. Farmar's still here. Whoa, it jumped. Oh, it just jumped to 25. Okay, Farmar sent a post saying 25, and it just went to 25 like that. Okay. Repsol, Repsol. I'll put it somewhere. Either in a comment. I can't type. There's no typing in this window here. Well, then again, I can go to YouTube. I haven't got it on this. Catch 22. Look at that. It's in a text file on there. I could have gone to YouTube and opened the stream that I'm broadcasting, and then I would have been able to type or paste. But the info that I need's on that phone, and I can't get to it. It would cut me off. It would end the stream the moment I tried. For some reason, I can watch the chat here. I can't do anything in the chat. The heck, where's Farmer going with that one? Oh, what's happened there? Let's jump back to when Josie said about Okay. Now I'm coming forward again. Now I've caught up. I missed a post there somehow. There's Josie, shocked at the noise of the rain. There's Pride over here. Rain only. Okay, just rain. No. Okay, here's the ice balls. Yeah, 25. You're behind. The Repsol place. I will. I can't. There's no typing here, but I'll take care of that. Maybe in a comment after the stream. They're selling balloons, unicorns, rainbows. And what did our granddaughter pick out? Don't know. Oh no, poop emoji. I have the power. Money, no girls, no cars, no houses, no likes. Okay, farmers off on one. Your daughter picked, your granddaughter picked out a big smiling face dick. Did you let her have it, or did you say, oof, no, sorry. Here's a teddy bear instead, or here's a unicorn. That's a bit awkward, isn't it? What do you do there? I don't know. Oh, hey, babe. Hey, babe. Did I just see a fly near you? I'm not sure. Something moved. Could have been a bit of dust. Hello, you. Hello, you. No, no puffing and panting. Do you need water? Is that what it is? Water? Come on, I'll go get some. I'll give you some water. I'm not sure. You're not reacting. Agua. Do you need water? Water. Come on, I'll get you water. Need water. I hope you don't need a poo or a pee. We've done lots of walkies already. You don't need walkies. You're just too hot. I can't tell what she wants. Let me catch up. Yeah, that's with her on the scooter to the centre. Can you imagine me and the small girl behind with her hands on big dick? That's awkward. Oh, okay, you have the power to raise likes, but nothing else. I got you. No, she's answered it already, Fama. You gotta go back a little bit. Go to sleep. Tina wants sleep. I'm not sure what she wants. She's puffing and panting a little bit like she's either overheating and wants water, or or she's frightened maybe. The fly thing hasn't gone off for a while, so she shouldn't be frightened. She's on the bed rather than on the plastic floor where she wants to be, where she wants to be cooler. Um, she seems to have settled now. I think she's okay. She got the big dig. She gets what she wants. Yeah, that's awkward. It wasn't a battery operated one, no. No batteries in it. It is just a bendy rubber toy kind of thing. Toy. Oh, balloon. Okay. Farmer, how many how do you call them? Oh, how many reminders have I given so far tonight about all chat or all messages rather than top chat? I do it myself sometimes. I said the other day that I was on Scruff Dogs and I'd accidentally left it on top chat. It hid my own posts from me. It hid my own chat messages. Didn't show me them. That was fun. Just a balloon, 120 centimeters, 4 feet. Okay, that's quite a size. That's a size and a half. Not quite a metre and a half, but not far off. Just as sassy as her granny. That's nice. But coming down the road on a scooter with a big phallus, though, that's. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Oh, we've fallen. We've fallen to 24 from 25. Who did we upset? Was it the talk of the inflatable penises? We must have had a prude in the house. Hmm. Beer's nearly ended. Okay, folks, topics. What's happened in the world? I'm trying to think whether I've read any sciencey stuff that. Oh, in tech, here's the one. Did I talk about this the other day? About payment gateways and how they forced. I think I have done this one already. How they forced Steam and another gaming platform to remove a bunch of games. That's going wild because Visa and Mastercard both denied that they'd forced companies to remove products from their stores that they disagreed with. Products that were totally legal, not illegal, but legal, totally legal. And they said, no, we haven't forced anybody to remove any products. And it turns out they have. But they do it through the back door. They tell the banks not to cover products that might bring the Visa or MasterCard brands into disrepute. And so it's not Visa or MasterCard that forces the online stores to remove things. it's their banks on behalf of Visa and MasterCard. But it gives them plausible deniability. But it looks like it might end up kicking them in the butt because there are laws on the books, proposed laws now, to force payment providers, payment gateways, to just, if it's a legal transaction, a legal product, they don't get to edit it, they don't get to have an opinion about what's allowed or not allowed. They will be forced to just be an open gateway to all orders and transactions unless the product is clearly illegal. So that's kicking off, that's causing a big rumpus. I can imagine Josie, the face of your yeah. You take his daughter out to the Pride Parade and come back with a big inflatable phallus. Yeah, Daddy's not going to be happy. Oh, we're 5 years too late to do anything about climate change because the sea sponges say so. I don't know. There's a lot of alarmist news around climate change. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I stand on it. In general, I'm a believe science kind of guy. I just find climate change to be a little bit difficult to believe. I'm open to being convinced, but how can you put this without going off into conspiracy theory land? The incentives all pushing one way. The incentives for the scientists. There's very little money for them to say, no, there's no climate change. All the incentives, all the research grants, all the government money is all pushing towards the climate's changing. It's very, very bad. And I don't know. Do summers seem hotter than they used to be? It's difficult for me to judge because I'm in a different country, so it's not what it used to be anyway. Winters don't seem to be as cold as they used to be. We don't seem to get the snow that we had when I was a kid. When I was young and we had lots of snow. But then again, I've moved counties. I don't live in the same area. But my feel, I hate you when people say my feeling is. My sense is that winters aren't what they used to be. But is it human caused? Is it permanent? Is it cyclical? Is it something that comes and goes every 50 years or 100 years or 200 years? Maybe we've just not had as many volcanic eruptions as we used to have. And the ash would block out the sun, but we haven't had the big eruptions. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not. Let's just say I'm not convinced by this. The big one. I think I mentioned this the other week. When they're using like the past 300 or 400 years worth of data. In the 70s, that same data was used to show that we had a new ice age coming. And now that same 300 or 400 years, with a bit of a 50-year gap at the end, 50 years newer research, but they're saying that the past data is being up all the way. Well, if that data has been going up for the last 300 years, what were they looking at in the 70s when they said it had been going down all the way and we were headed for an ice age? I don't get how the same data set can have two radically different theories around it. Not just theories, but two radically different descriptions. 50 years ago, the last 250 years has been all downwards. Now, the last 300 years has been all upwards. How can that same 250 years at the beginning of that 300, how could it have been all down and now all up? I can't square that. I can't square that circle. That does not compute. I don't know. Difficult. Oh, how far did I just jump? We just started burning the amounts we are from 1950. But they're saying that the historical data, so before that 50, the 250 years before that, in the 70s, they said that it was all downwards. That 250. What we've done in the last 50, that's kind of up for grabs. But how could the same data from 300 years ago until 50 years ago, 50 years ago they said that was downwards all the way, and now they're saying that same period is up all the way? I can't. It doesn't compute. And chats won't show. Oh. Human cost, can we change it? I think so. We are putting so much in. Look at the oceans, and plastic as enormous as ocean. Oh, we're definitely polluting the sea. I mean, there's no... Yeah, filling it with plastics and and as plastics break down and you get smaller plastics, every couple of thousand years or million years there's a big change. So it's maybe normal. We can't rule that out, can we? That's what yeah. We're roasting like never before. I think there's something there. Whatever you believe, you know what I mean. I do know what you mean. Is it getting hotter? You've certainly got more wildfires, but that might just be bad forestry management. Matey boy and his rake the floor. I don't go that far. Orange man, rake the floor. Controlled burns, having water actually in the rivers and things so that you can take it and pour it on the fires when they happen. I don't know. Is it hotter? There have been periods in time that have been warmer. I don't know, mate. I don't know. And if it is warming, it still doesn't prove that we're causing it and it's not just a cyclical thing. They say they model it and the CO2 was... Here's the other thing. A lot of people will contest that CO2 rises and falls in CO2. Do they lead to increases and decreases in temperature, or do they happen as a result of previous increases or decreases in temperature? Scientists keep like adjusting the figures and normalizing and standardizing. They take a set of figures and they don't just use the figures as they are. They say, oh, in this period we were sampling wrong and everything's off by half, and they fudge the numbers. Now, I've got a statistics background. They say they've got a model and they say they know what's wrong and that they know how to adjust the figures just so. But then their model doesn't match reality afterwards. Their predictions don't span, don't come out the way they said. So what's the point of their model? A model that didn't predict the right result. You don't just tweak and say, oh, well, now that we've got a new prediction for the next 50 years. You say, no, that model didn't work. Throw it away. Start again. If you make infinite number of models, some of them are going to look like they're right. They're going to match the past data. You start with your test data set, develop a model, you hold back some of the data so that when the model is run, it then has to match what happened in that 50 years or whatever that you held back. And if it worked up to that point, then you start predicting the actual future. So to an extent, you're predicting the past. You use your sample data, develop your model, predict the the period of the past that you left out of your sample data. If it matches, make a prediction about the actual future rather than predicting the past, which we already know what happened. That's how you work it. And if it doesn't match, if that doesn't meet reality, if that's really different from what actually happens, there's going to be some movement around the mean from any prediction. But if it's way, way off, and most of them have been, isn't the world supposed to have ended already, according to some of the earlier climate predictions? Well, if the predictions were that the world was going to end, and it didn't, then those predictions, that model, and all of everything they espoused based on that model, we've only got 10 years to fix the planet, or 20, or whatever it was, goes away. Your model was wrong, you were rubbish, you failed. Don't listen to anything you said because it was all based on your model that was wrong. Plastic is a real problem, I agree. Plastic has been a real problem. The fact that we've all got it all over the place inside our bodies now, these microplastics are everywhere. And some of these other permanent chemicals, I think they call them, the ones that never decompose, and if you get them in your body, they just don't come back out. They just build up and build up and build up. Forever chemicals, yeah, no. Do you know, Farmer, that during the dinosaur period there was far, far, far more CO2 in the atmosphere than there is now? That's why the trees got so big back then. It's why some of the insects and other animals were so big. The megafauna, the big dinosaurs, the big dragonflies, there was just so much more CO2 in the atmosphere than there is now. And life went on. And in some ways, it was good for the plants. CO2 is not automatically bad, even if there is more of it. I don't know. I'm torn. All I'll say is I'm not persuaded by the stats. That's my main. The statistics and the modelling, I don't find persuasive. And I think my biggest problem, though, is the incentives are all in one direction. The incentives, since Margaret Thatcher wanted to get rid of the coal industry in the UK, she pumped money into research to undermine coal. And everything's gone in one direction ever since. That's where all the research went. That's where the government money and the research grants went. And they've continued to go. And it's almost all, don't get me wrong, there is some funding from the oil and whatever industry, but it's dwarfed by the government investment in research. And the whole of academia, or the vast majority of academia in that field, are funded to find that climate change is happening and is man-made and we're all going to die. Not persuaded. I'm open to persuasion. It's just difficult. And to be honest, when you look at reports about the stats and about some report that comes out and some research that's being done, it's pretty much impenetrable for the normal man in the street. Like I said, I've got a stats background, and I look at some of those graphs and can't make head and tail of them. I just have to read the summary of the people that produce the graph and take their word for it that that's what it shows. Now, if I've got a stats background and I don't know what I'm looking at, what does the average man in the street think when he looks at it? He's probably not even reading their summary of what he's reading the newspaper headlines, which again will take half a story and inflate it and run with it because hype sells. Catastrophe. It's already too late. We needed to have done things by last Tuesday, otherwise we're all dead. Don't know. I don't have firm. Okay, let me put it this way. Strong beliefs weakly held. If some evidence comes out that I find compelling enough, I'll change my mind. Of course I will, obviously. I just haven't seen it. To my mind, it seems rigged in one direction because that's where the money goes, and people who do research have a bias towards proving what the person paying the bill wanted to see. If the government says we want some research that shows that, or we want to, they might not be as hard and fast as that's what we want, but they'll say we want to investigate whether this is causing that. And here's 10 million. %90 of the time, the report's going to come back and say this is causing that, because that's what the person paying the bill wanted. If your report doesn't say that, they'll go to the other guy down the road next year. They won't come back to you. Maybe, or maybe that's just conspiracy theory. I think that that's what it is, but we'll see. Plastic is real. Fireworks in Torrevieja in the background. Not that I've heard. There's cars going past on the main road. Tina's snoring a little bit. No, it becomes a big greenhouse. But is a greenhouse bad? Greenhouses are good. They grow lots of greenhouses grow lots of nice plants. Plants are good. I don't know. I don't know where I am with a lot of this. It's a lot like, what's that saying about the best time to grow a tree is 100 years ago. The second best is tomorrow. I'm not sure that we're seeing cataclysmic weather changes. The forest fires and things all seem to be explainable by bad electricity networks where the cables aren't maintained and fall down and cause sparks in the middle of summer. Bad forestry management. Bad river management, diverting the river away that had that would have had the water in that you would have used to put the fire out. Is it hotter than it used to be? Half a degree here, quarter of a degree there. I don't know. I don't find it compelling. I might be wrong. It happened once. I just think that you got to look at where the incentives are, and if the outcomes match the incentives, that causes a big old question mark in my mind. Not that I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. I'm a conspiracy analyst. I do find the argument that Margaret Thatcher started all of this, I find that compelling. We had big strikes in the UK. The coal miners went on strike and held the country to ransom, toppled the Prime Minister. The one from Margaret Thatcher's party before she took over. Ted Heath. And caused a general election. Thatcher then hated the miners for what they'd done and wanted to end the mining industry. And from there pumped money into research to show that coal bad. And just what, 4 years later, somebody discovers the greenhouse effect. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Well, you don't want to wait, you want action taken. There's no harm in taking action, except for the cost. Big cost to take drastic action worldwide. There was more oxygen in the past. Yeah, there was for some time. There was, but there was more carbon dioxide as well. And those got locked away in like limestone and what have you. Certain rock formations. Locked away for what? Millions of years. Calcium carbonate, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what the like the calcium cycle or the carbon dioxide cycle with rock. I don't know how many millions of years it gets locked away for. No people to disturb it back in the day, dinosaur kind of times and what have you. Yeah. Panacea, that's not right. Pangea. But okay. Panacea. That'll cure all. Okay, Josie's got a crown. She thought she'd turned it off. One continent, easy to travel. Well, this is why Africa looks like it would join on with South America, because it did. Yeah, yeah. It's not an accident that they look like jigsaw pieces that would fit together. You see, the media as a whole shouldn't be expressing opinions. The media should be reporting. They used to have just that one piece, the editorial. So it was a third of a page or a quarter of a page in width down one side of one page. And now it's like every article is an opinion piece. And on TV, we've got reporters interviewing reporters. Why? Why does the opinion of the reporter that's being interviewed, why does that matter? My voice is starting to crack, folks. I think we're going to have to call it quits. Unless I can get this to clear. You silent majority out there that haven't engaged with chat. Opinions, I'd do a poll if I had a proper computer and I could. I'm on a phone and there is no option. I don't get to do anything with chat, including polls. No. So, what are your thoughts, the silent guys out there? Climate change. Case proven? Up in the air? You absolutely reject the hypothesis that it's human caused? Where are you? See how I'm doing? I'm inviting you to come and join in and engage. As well as to hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe if you've seen more than 3 or 4 of my videos and you don't think I'm a total wanker. Now I'm inviting you to come and join in and say I'm a wanker. Follow the money to get to the truth. That's kind of what I'm saying about the, what's the word I used? The incentives, yeah. If all the money that goes to academia is all pushing in one direction, what happens when someone doesn't do it for the money? Here's the thing. Academics need need grants, they need funding. They have to bring money into the university or they get sacked. Um, and here's another thing, the last 20 or 30 years, the whole not publish or be damned, but they have to continuously be publishing to be seen, to there's just pressure to constantly have a new report out and have new findings just for the sake of it, because the university wants to be seen and wants to have papers quoted in the scientific literature and to get press articles. Often the press release goes out before the paper's been peer reviewed, so you're getting a constant bombardment of news that is unjustified, not reviewed, and then the newspapers themselves will hype. You got the researchers who have an incentive to make it as sexy as possible, but before it leaves them, it goes through the university's PR department, who might not even understand the science, but they put an inflated spin on it. Then it goes to the newspapers or TV or whoever. They want to hype it up if there's a story there to run with. And then people commenting on the articles, press feeding on the press, feeding on the PR department, feeding on researchers who are incentivized to sex up their report, and it hasn't even been peer reviewed yet. And it's that old, was it a Mark Twain adage about how lies or rumors or false news travel 3 times around the world before the truth put its shoes on. I don't know. I'm not saying climate change doesn't exist. I'm saying I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. And if it does, I'm still not convinced humans caused it. But yeah. Yellow tape flog. Carbon is already used by plants in gaseous form. Yeah. When you see a tree, all that wood, the whole fucking tree, that didn't come up from the ground. That carbon, the wood, the cellulose, whatever the hell it is, that was drawn out with the air. Photosynthesis and all that. Yeah. Yeah, people think that a tree's root system is just for getting water and a few other nutrients. The carbon comes in through the leaves. Reduce carbon, reduce life on planet. That's a possibility. Although in the early days there was so much carbon, wasn't it? Stromatolites were one of the first living organisms, and they helped lock away a lot of carbon. So they're kind of an extremophile, or were an extremophile, an extreme form of life, but one of the earliest ones. There was too much carbon dioxide way, way, way back, and they were locking it away as limestone, basically. And there's these, if you've ever seen them, so you've got a shallow pool of water, well, a shallow sea, and there's these like columns of rock, and the top layer is what's alive, and the rest is what, a bit like coral, where it builds up and builds up, but the animals are only in the top or the outer part. Stromatolites were building upwards, and they leave a column of rock behind, locking away carbon or carbon dioxide, mix it with calcium, I guess, to form limestone. Something like that. But yeah, stromatolites are interesting. I used to have a picture of a bay with a lot of them in. I might still have the picture, but it'll be in the UK somewhere. Special with the Oompa Loompa. Okay, your orange man. Okay. Who's that? But I think I'm guessing, yeah, orange man is what I think she's going with. He's really orange. He is sometimes, not others. I don't know. Do you think he uses like a fake tan? Am I not seeing? Oh, okay, Josie was trying to get tape to hit the like button. I thought I'd missed it. I thought I'd missed something. I think, folks, I think I'm almost out of chat. I am quite tired. My voice is starting to fail. I did 3 hours earlier, and we're over 3.5 now. 3:40. I think on 3 hours 45, so in 4 minutes, I think I'm probably going to call it quits. Anybody out there that hasn't hit the like button, appreciate it if you do. That would be nice. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's been a good one. Remember, when I did the proper TrampCast earlier, proper TrampCast is where we detail a week in the life of, and I only got as far as Tuesday in 3 hours. So there's still kind of 5 days to cover. And we're going to do that probably tomorrow afternoon. 5 o'clock would be the normal time, but it's a weekday. I might leave it well 6 or 6:30. You'll have to leave that with me and watch out for the notifications from YouTube. So if you haven't hit the bell, there's the other thing I never tell anybody to do. I very rarely tell people to hit the bell. Click the bell and set it to all. Is it called all notifications? Whatever the wording is. All messages, all alerts, all notifications. Whatever that is. I did just see a fly definitely fly past me there. But yeah, if you could do that, folks, and that helps the channel, but it also helps make sure that you don't miss any videos. I'm falling off the bottom of the screen, aren't I? We are nearly done. We've only got a couple of minutes to go, so we're just winding down. But yeah, like, share, hit the bell for notifications, and help a guy out. I am a tramp. I live in a field, in a country where I don't speak the language, where I have legal troubles, where my English bank has stolen my money. Stolen legally would probably be incorrect, but what do you call it where they close your account and tell you can't have your money? It's pretty much stealing, isn't it? If it's not theft, it's conversion. Conversion is like theft. Let's say you lend your neighbour your lawnmower and he never gives you it back. He didn't steal it. He didn't take it away without consent. You gave it to him. But the fact that he keeps it makes it a crime called conversion in many jurisdictions. So it's adjacent to theft. And I think putting my money in the bank, giving them my money, and then them not giving it me back, sounds like conversion, doesn't it? Or fraud. They'll say they're doing it for my protection. We shall have to argue that one day. Okay, folks, we are coming to the end. I don't know whether to do the ending in the tradition of the channel, because the light will wake her ladyship up. Maybe I can do this. Oh no, she's just waking. Hey, babe. Hey, hello you. Hello you. Oh, it's my girl. She did just lift her head, make a noise and move around, but I think she's essentially still asleep. Let me see whether... Whoa! Okay, now she's going to be awake. You're okay, babe. It's okay. Don't be frightened. Don't be frightened. Daddy says it's okay. It's okay. Lay down. You're okay. It's okay. Things okay. Daddy's okay. Hey, doggy darling. Hey, babe. I know. Let me show you to the people, because we're about to finish in 20 seconds or so. Okay, folks, I've got my hand in the wrong place on the phone. I'm going to say thank you for joining me today or tonight. Maybe see you tomorrow when I do the second half of the TrampCast proper. This is a TrampCast Hangout. We do TrampCast proper. Here's my girl. So, folks, Tina, hey babe, from Tina, and from me, Delta Mike. It didn't take the click. And from me, Delta Mike. Let's try that again. Out. Good night, folks.